like combat.
To the Bombad Cast. What is up, everybody? This is your boy Cannon Junkie here, Gerry the Cannon Junkie, and it is another lovely Bombad day. And you know, why don't I go ahead and welcome you to the Bombad Cast and bring in my my lovely co-host, who is possibly getting some good sun right now, Mr. Scotty Jarreau. Scotty, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, Gerry? More like sunburn. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's
sunburn.
It's been a little overcast. And, I'm a little pale. I've got my summer mustache going right now. I'm currently.
I saw that. That was nice.
I didn't. I wanted to slowly show you. I didn't want to just send you a selfie. But we do that sometimes. But dude, it's going great. I got 20 other of my family members here right now. It's a big tradition we got. We're actually in Gulf Shores, Alabama. But anyone, if you happen to listen to this Tuesday morning and you're like, wait a minute, I am in the area, let's meet up, let's take a selfie, let's do something. But also, Gerry, you doing okay?
Man, I'm doing good, but Scott, we have a special guest, I believe, don't we?
Do we? Is he in the same room as I am?
I thought we did.
This is the guy looking across from me.
There is someone else getting some sun with you over there.
Yeah, he
and growing a pencil mustache as well, I think.
Yes, we all got a pencil thin mustache because we love Jimmy Buffett. But look, I need to introduce my cousin and one of my best friends. He goes by Elderpug 27, right?
Yes.
Yes, he goes by Elderpug 27 on the wonderful Twitch Twitch, Instagram, and on Twitter, and that is no other than my cousin Troy Jarreau. Troy, what's up?
What's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
Dude, it's going great, man.
It's so finally good to meet you, Gerry.
It's very awesome to meet you as well, Troy. I'm telling you, man. I can't believe that there's been all this time. We've been talking back and forth. You've been liking stuff on on our thing and talking about listening to the podcast, and here we are, talking together.
I know, it's finally here. It's great.
It's the second guest, our second guest. And we're going to hopefully get some more people as guests, too. Yeah, it's historical. But let's get into the news, guys. There's one thing we have to get into that was 100%... that was just when it dropped, I was like, what is this? And I texted both of y'all about it. It is the Sith Trooper. What do you think of that, guys? Trey, I want to hear your take first. What do you think of the Sith Trooper?
Oh, man, dude, there's so many things I can think about with the Sith Trooper. One in particular that comes to mind is I believe that they have to be guarding something.
Yeah.
There's no reason that we're going to see a brand new trooper in this episode, and it's not for something big.
Oh, yeah. This is... I don't believe it's going to be just a throwaway thing,
Right.
I know Gerry and I talked about it before, but, the Executioner Trooper, Gerry...
yeah.
Not saying it wasn't utilized, but it was definitely, it was...
it was maybe a little underwhelming for some.
Yeah, and of course, it was all in the marketing. And the Praetorian Guards now, I could tell you that much, that was actually... It lived up to the hype. And the Death Troopers did as well. But what's your take on this, Gerry? How do you feel about this? Look, we even got the description written up. Gerry, if you don't mind, can you read the description, what they had the San Diego Comic-Con for the actual Sith Trooper?
Yeah, I saw this in a tweet someone posted, and then I believe they said that the plaque was removed.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if you guys saw that, which adds even more intrigue. Was this something we were not to have seen? Was JJ out walking the floor and go, whoa, what are you doing? You're gonna give away my Sith Trooper? What are you gonna give away what the Sith Trooper is? And Scott, for real, let me get into this. Let me just read it, and we'll start to dissect this a little bit. But it was this is a what would you call it? A translation of it was a fuzzy picture, and so it was
very
transcribed.
Fuzzy. We never saw a high quality one of it, and I'd
you
imagine this
did?
is the no. I know. I never saw one.
Yeah, we never
Right.
saw anything.
Oh, okay.
But I'd imagine this is a very accurate description of what was written. So, Jerry, get into
I
it,
looked
bud.
as close as I could, and I saw it. So this was transcribed by
It was
Charlie Ashby.
Your little Ewok eyes couldn't handle it.
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, well, we can see pretty good in the forest, but you get us out anywhere else, and it's just
Yeah.
it's crap.
It's like my Normalian eyes. I can see really well underwater, but that's about it.
I can barely see, my 2 fat fingers and 1 thumb, in front of me. But let's go ahead. Let's get into this. Okay, it says, here we go. Again, transcribed by Mr. Charlie Ashby of, I believe, the Imperial Senate Pod. In its ultimate push towards galactic conquest, the First Order readies an army of elite soldiers that draw inspiration and power from a dark and ancient legacy.
God,
Holy
that's epic.
crap.
That's
Holy,
epic.
Holy Snokes. Actually, holy
Wow.
Sheev.
Yes.
Holy Snokes. Oh man, I mean,
Sheev on a cracker.
it. You're so stupid.
I know.
You are a dad. You got good dad jokes. But like, to read that, especially the part at the end, from a power from a dark and ancient legacy. Oh, that's just it just adds so much flavor. I know they're just red, but it's, to me, it just adds so much more.
But are they just red?
You're right. That's true.
Because
That's
I mean,
true.
even the line that draws my eye is, the First Order readies an elite army of soldiers. The First Order readies its ultimate push towards galactic conquest. It's readying these guys. Are these clones?
Yeah.
Like what are they?
That's true.
Oh wow.
Man.
It's
You know,
like so they weren't doing this before TLJ. They are doing it in their last push.
That's a good point. And the funny thing you say that is, people forget there was that one leaked poster that came out before Celebration, and it had Claude on it, which is that weird looking slug alien. It had
The banana slug.
The TIE dagger on it, which we now know more about thanks to the release of that what's it called? What do you call those books, Jerry? The
visual dictionaries.
dictionaries.
My lifeblood.
Yeah, that's the Canon Junkie.
I did see that.
Yeah, the TIE dagger.
Yeah.
And then like that little poster that was released, it's got all these little Easter eggs in it that way. I guess it's funny. This is how I see it sometimes. That leak might have been intentional. I think it might have been intentional. Because at the very bottom of it you see nothing but these Sith troopers.
Yes.
So I don't know. That's kind of how I see it, but like, what's your take on the design, Troy? I want to hear yours real quick.
On the design of the Sith Trooper?
The it looks like it reminds me of like a clone trooper's mask.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My thoughts were, I know didn't they release the toy, like the actual package, and didn't it have a bunch of weapons, different types of weapons?
Yeah.
Yes. Like 4 different kinds.
Yeah, and so that's crazy with that. So that are they built to withstand different types of weapons?
You get me excited. I didn't think about that.
Could they technically withstand a lightsaber,
Yeah.
or could they deflect? Kind of like Phasma's armor.
Like a launch right off her. That was true. That's true. What do you want to add to that, Jerry?
No, well, I absolutely agree, Troy. I mean, if you look, and those weapons they have like a modified version of the E11, the First Order E11 version is. I can't remember the model number right now, guys. I know I'm the canon junkie. I'm sorry, I don't have the visual dictionary in front of me.
Some canon junkie.
I know. I disprove myself on this show all the time. I'm always like, I know stuff, and then I'm like, who's that guy with the face? No, but they've got like a modified, red version of that regular blaster rifle. They've got that big, potato cannon as John Hoey over at the Resistance broadcast called it, but that basically the big like repeating cannon. Then they've got kind of like a more wicked version of that stun baton that Finn fights that one guy on,
Yeah,
on Takadana with.
TR8R.
Yeah. So I think they can fight with lightsabers, but then the fourth one is like it's like some kind of vibroblade. I'm guessing something.
Yeah.
It's a sword type of weapon.
God.
I think these guys are gonna like give our lovable ragged band of heroes a run for their money, man. It might be the most like desperate fight they've been in.
It really could be, and I would hope
I can't
they
imagine
paint
what
that
this movie's
for us.
gonna be.
Here's a crazy concept for you guys with the Sith Troopers. What if they are force sensitive?
Wow. Like the First Order
Oh my
went out and
gosh.
picked force-sensitive kids, and it's a whole legion of force-sensitive...
What if it is?
Oh!
I mean, that's just a concept. I thought about that earlier and was like, but I mean, that.
It's another one I read. Another
possible.
It's very
interesting
possible.
one would be like a clone army of like Palpatines.
Oh my goodness.
Could you imagine that? That'd be ridiculous.
Some
would be
people were
insane.
talking about that. Well, okay, so and you know there was like one of my theories that I kind of had was I thought, what if this is like Palpatine's like army that he's been building before even the First Order came around.
That's good too.
But you know, I mean, with this description, and if I think that Charlie did a great job transcribing this, but I mean,
I
you
do
know,
as well.
it seems like the First Order is in charge of this, and
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
maybe Kylo is going for Sheev. He's looking for Palpatine,
Dang.
or a
That
way
would
to resurrect
and-
him, or
Funny you say that. There was something that was stated like how...
finally defeat him.
Yeah, or defeat him. Like, that's the coolest thing is, I want to finish what you started could mean like 5 different things.
Yes.
You know, but if you break it down, the two ones I think of is, it could be, I'm going to finish killing the Jedi, or it could mean is, I'm going to finish your job of killing Palpatine.
Yeah.
It really could mean, you know, and honestly, that would have been Vader's ultimate galactic, I guess, conquest, is if he killed Palpatine, he would be the next person in charge.
He would.
Yeah, and then he would be the one that ruled the galaxy. So like that was when Vader.
Emperor.
Yes, exactly.
You know.
Yeah, I don't know where this movie's gonna go, but you know what I can tell you, Jerry? I know where some movies are gonna go, and a movie franchise in particular that does not deal with Star Wars is gonna go.
Are we starting a preview of our canon adjacent or Star Wars adjacent series here?
You know what? We have Jerry actually has been bouncing this idea around a lot more than I have, but we want to do like a Star Wars adjacent episodes, like maybe once every couple of months, where we talk about, you know, Lucasfilm related products, or even just nerd geek culture related stuff too in general, like Marvel.
Let you guys know where our other interests lie.
Yeah, totally. And especially with what happened last night. I mean, Troy and we had just got to the beach and we were running around picking up stuff, groceries and stuff, and our phones were just constantly blowing up with all the news from San Diego Comic Con.
From the Comic Con.
It's been
so
nonstop.
much information. Honestly, to me, it's amazing how much they dropped. I didn't think that it would be anywhere close to what they dropped.
And we're talking about Marvel, people.
Yeah.
We're talking about Marvel. Lucasfilm did a good job with all the book droppings, which I think is great. But, like, Jerry, give us a little bit of a rundown of what the heck Marvel dropped on us last night.
Oh my gosh!
Like,
well, so much. I'm still like reeling, like just thinking about it too, because they
unreal.
they announced not only movies, but like Disney Plus shows, and kind of gave us more of a window of when those are going to drop, and like the actual like titles
animated
and
Disney
stuff.
Plus shows too. Literally,
Was that the What If show?
Yeah, and they're gonna have voice actors come and do it. It's insane. It literally.
I was wondering what the What If was.
Literally,
so it's animated.
Yes.
Okay.
So by the year 2021, by the end of 2021, we're going to have 10 new products from Marvel. Are you
insane.
freaking kidding me?
Are you ready? I've got the Phase 4 timeline that they had on the big screen
All right,
last
Jerry,
night pulled up.
blow through it real quick.
Here we go. Okay. May 1st, 2020, Black Widow. And I heard that they showed footage from that last night.
They did.
Did you read the description on that? I mean, it wasn't like anything huge.
They're
Yes.
in Budapest. So
Yes, it's the
That's pretty
Budapest
cool.
that they keep bringing up, so that was kind of awesome.
Yeah.
Fall 2020, we have on Disney Plus, the first of the Disney Plus shows, The Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I think that's the one I'm the most excited for, honestly, of the Disney Plus shows.
Exactly.
Troy too.
Yeah.
Troy was saying how excited he was for that, just because he loves those two characters.
I'm right with you, dude. Like, I want to see the new Cap. Like, I want to see Falcon. I want to see Sam as the new Cap.
God, so cool.
I can't wait to see Sam and, Bucky and all them just in action.
And
it's
to
so
get
cool.
8 hours with them, to get or however, how many episodes did they say?
They I don't know if they even dropped the episode count.
I don't know if they did.
Or how long the episodes would be.
Yeah.
I'd imagine
I don't know how much my heart
like 8
can handle.
episodes.
Yeah.
I imagine it'd be like the Mandalorian. I think they're going to do the
drop
Netflix
it down,
approach.
See how the first season does.
Yeah.
And then, like a lot of these new shows do, but you're keeping the same actors as the Marvel movies. You're keeping. I mean, people are going to watch this. This is going to be.
They're going to get
huge.
Disney Plus. Yeah,
It's insane. I am so excited for this. Like, I know people are kind of like, whatever. I'm more excited about the Mandalorian. I am. Like, the Mandalorian's my top. I'm ready for it.
Troy had his
Disney Plus
Mandalorian
comes
shirt
out.
on. I had bought him a Mandalorian shirt. Speaking of, at Celebration, he had it on yesterday.
Nice.
I did. Yep.
Yeah, and
Dude,
it's just
that's
funny you
awesome.
say that.
One of my favorite tees.
Yeah,
It's
but
so
anyway,
cool.
sorry,
That's so
Jerry, I
awesome.
didn't mean to.
No,
didn't mean to cut
I'm
you
just
off.
saying, like, I'm so psyched for all these Marvel properties. That was huge news for me too, along with the Lucasfilm Star Wars stuff on Disney Plus. But then, okay, moving on, November 6th. It's got a date and everything, like just like Black Widow. November 6th, 2020, Eternals.
Oh, I don't even know what that's about.
Yeah,
to be real.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm so excited for that though, because the last time we had something like that, it was Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, you're right. It's like a band of people that are in outer space, essentially.
Right. Well,
Aren't
and
they
I was
super powerful?
I was reading about it. It said the description I read said that the Celestials, so we're bringing the Celestials back into it.
Nice.
Came millions of years ago and experimented on the subhumans and whatever here, and did kind of experiments and different things with them. And so then they basically created this race of Eternals. And also this other race, I forget what they're called. It was kind of funny. It was like they're like the Grossies or something. It's not that cheesy, but it's like basically like the I don't know. They're basically like they created this one race of eternal humans who are superpowered, and this race of deformed evil.
Nice.
Also mutant humans. So that sounds kind of cool. I'm
cool.
and that's, I believe, going to star Angelina Jolie, and I can't remember any of the other.
And
that's the one they said Angelina was going to be. Okay.
Yes.
I forget his first name, but his last name's Don Johnny. He's a comedian. He was literally just on Conan's podcast.
Was it
Kumail?
Camille?
Camille on Johnny. Yes. He
I
was
didn't
on
know he
Conan's
was in it. I love
podcast
him.
recently. It was great. He's very funny.
I love him so much.
But yeah,
if you have not seen The Big Sick, sorry, he is in The Big Sick, and it got Oscar attention. It's such a great dramedy. It's so funny. He's hilarious.
Awesome.
But also such a good actor. Like he puts so much heart in that.
And
that
you know
role.
how Marvel does
So
their
check him
casting.
out.
Marvel's casting is
Phenomenal.
honestly I think it's better than Lucasfilms. It's like the actual best. You know.
Yes.
It's like the top tier of casting.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They knock it out of the park, man.
Anyway, the next one is what, Jerry? That's it for 2020.
Let's see. That's it for 2020, and so starting February 12th, 2021, we get Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Now, I don't know much about Shang-Chi.
Neither do I.
I think the full title of the comic is Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu.
Okay.
But what I'm hearing is this is supposed to be a star-studded, like it's basically going to be what Marvel did with Black Panther for like the Asian community and things like that. It's going to be like almost a full Asian cast, and it's going to deal with, this is what I got excited about, the Mandarin.
Yes, the actual Mandarin.
From Iron Man 2. Yes, because if you remember, there was
from Iron Man.
Right. Well, there was the one shot that came whenever they used to do the Marvel one shots that would come out like a little short film. Basically, you remember those on the DVDs?
No, I actually don't. To be honest with you,
I remember
reading about them.
This came out on Iron Man 2. They had one where like basically this guy was interviewing Travis Mathers, whatever the guy, whoever Ben Kingsley was playing, that actor in prison. And
Yes.
basically that guy was he was sent there by the actual Mandarin, and he was sent there to kill that guy for portraying the Mandarin.
Oh,
and he said,
wow.
the Mandarin sends his regards, and like the camera turns into a gun and like shoots him. And
wow.
I was
That's
like, what?
awesome.
The Mandarin actually exists. So if you remember, the 10 Rings is the terrorist organization that captures Tony in Iron Man.
Oh,
And they're also the
wow.
one that he's like pretending to be a part of. So the 10 Rings doesn't like when you mess with them, and so we're going to deal with them again. They're picking. This is what I'm loving so far about what they're saying about Phase 4. And I finally saw Spider-Man Far From Home. They
Troy
are picking
hasn't
up
seen it
these.
yet. Troy
you haven't
hasn't
seen
it
that?
yet.
Oh,
I
well,
have not seen it yet.
I won't spoil, but what I will say is they're picking up threads that you have not picked up in like since Phase 1. And they're doing it beautifully.
God.
They're doing it beautifully.
That sounds crazy,
Oh,
man. That actually gets me excited.
It's pretty cool, dude. You
amazing.
should seriously. I was not prepared for Spider-Man: Far From Home. It was so good.
We might go see it this week.
I really do. I want to go see it while I'm here. on
There's
vacation.
3 movies we want to see.
You
We want
got
to see
to.
that. We want to see that, The Lion King, and we want to see the new Tarantino movie that comes out
Oh,
Thursday.
I've got to see. Oh, is the new Tarantino come out this week? We're just
Yes.
going to start a movie podcast, guys. That's what we got
There
to
we
do.
go.
That's
There we
it.
go.
We just said the Bombad Podcast Network coming soon. But here we go. Moving on here because I know we could spend an entire podcast talking about this thing. But
know
we've
we
got spring 2021 on Disney Plus. WandaVision, which a lot of people are kind of
Very
like,
interesting.
making fun of but I'm so excited to see Scarlet Witch and Vision together
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
And am I hearing correctly? I forget exactly. I didn't really hear them describe it. I haven't looked up any of the videos on
They
that one.
said that it was post
Endgame.
Endgame.
Is it? So,
Which
okay,
so-
this must
someone
be
might
the
have to make another
return
Vision.
of Vision.
Yeah, so we might have to make another Vision without the Power Stone in his
Right.
head.
Right.
That really might
Well,
be it.
What I've heard, and I don't follow the comics as much, I don't know if you guys do, but I have heard that Vision, whenever the Soul Stone is removed, it's the Soul Stone in him, right?
Soul
no,
Stone, that's it. No, I think
No,
you're
it's-
right.
The Mind Stone.
The Mind Stone.
Mind Stone.
When the Mind
that's
Stone
it.
was removed
Yeah.
by Thanos, he becomes like a grayscale version of himself. I've heard that's
Yes.
like a version of Vision in the comics. Like he becomes that.
Oh.
So
Okay.
that was like foreshadowing. So I'm interested to see what happens with that. I thought
That's
someone
cool.
there was a rumor that it took place in the 50s for some reason, but
I did read that.
Maybe there is some time travel involved since we know there's
Maybe.
time travel
Yeah.
now. Which
God, it's
again,
wild.
don't get me started on how Endgame did time travel because I actually love it. But
Me too.
Yeah. My
I thought
wife
it
was
was-
actually the most excited for WandaVision.
Yeah.
When I showed
Yes.
her all the things. So
Yeah. She
Well,
liked
and-
that. She liked that relationship.
yeah.
it's
Which I
it's
thought they're great.
so interesting. Then moving on to May 7th, if I may. Oh my gosh, this one I'm super psyched for. I love Doctor Strange. We've got Doctor
Yeah.
Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and they said it's their first take on a scary movie. And it's also
Troy-
going to star Wanda. Wanda Maximoff will be in
Yes.
this one as well as Scarlet Witch.
Like
With-
as a main character. That's insane. You should see
Guys-
Troy's face. He just got so excited.
It's so cool because they didn't take any twists or turns that we thought they were going to for the first couple of years of this.
No.
So-
and
so exciting.
Now,
So one of the main heroes from Endgame that I liked, and Doctor Strange, the movie was great, and he's only had one, whereas
Yeah.
most of the superheroes have had more than one.
yeah.
And I'm so excited he's getting another movie.
One.
It's
Me too.
so great.
And for it to be like mention the multiverse, which is kind of discussed. Don't spoil anything, Jerry.
I'm not going. No,
And-
it is discussed
okay.
in.
It is discussed 100%. You'll see when we see it. But
That
ready.
gets me excited for things with
Yes.
Spider-Man and everything.
exactly, and like for especially for that character, and for it to be marketed as possibly a scary movie this early on, I really do think they're gonna blow us away again. I mean, like, imagine all the great movies they've already done. They've done pretty much every genre except scary. Like
Yeah.
they are going to tackle it.
They're
Tackle
going
it.
to keep it going too. Coming, we'll get to the news they announced at the end of a character coming in The cast. I don't know if we want to like say it right now. Everyone knows if you're listening to this, but we'll just go say Blade. Oh my gosh!
Blade. Cool.
The announcement of Mahershala Ali playing Blade was amazing, and I guess that says something about how they felt about the Netflix shows. But that's that's okay. I liked that okay enough, but I'm more excited for him to play Blade.
Could you imagine?
I mean, he's a Wesley Snipes twin.
Literally, it's so funny. When we were looking at the photo last night, and he's like, "Who's playing him?" Like, "Oh, the guy that played with that was in the whatever movie it was that he won an Oscar for." And I'm like, "Look," and I show him the pictures. He goes, "That's just Wesley Snipes." Like that's like exactly him, but younger. It's so funny.
Well, he's such a great actor too. I love him so much. I haven't seen many. I've seen only a few of his projects that he's been in, but he's knocked it. Seriously, like blown me away every time I've seen him on the screen. He's so magnetic. But I don't know. I will say for a lot of you guys, I don't know if you guys think so, but I don't expect this to be like the Wesley Snipes Blades.
No, I don't think so.
I'm just coming out to say I don't think it's going to be, but I don't think we're going to be disappointed at all.
No,
I think it's only. I think with Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, I think we might start planting the seeds for the dark part of the universe, and you might get your first taste of Blade. Possibly, we'll see. I'm so excited for them to start doing this. It's only a matter of time before they start doing Moon Knight and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, I mean, that's wild, dude. I didn't think about that.
That's amazing.
What's the next one, Jer?
So, spring 2021 coming to Disney Plus as well. So you've got, WandaVision and Loki coming.
Yes.
Spring 2021.
Yes.
This
Loki.
is insane. Of course,
man?
we saw the setup for this in Endgame.
Yes.
Spoilers
Genius.
if you haven't seen Endgame by now, it's the top movie of all time now.
It'll be out next month.
Yeah, like
less than a month.
Yeah.
Just go get it on Blu-ray. But basically, Loki, the premise of the show got set up in that.
Yep.
And Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Tesseract. Yep.
That's what I think's great about it. It's going to take off whenever he grabs the Tesseract.
He grabbed the Tesseract and he just disappears.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Thor's like, "Where's Loki?" And he's just
What got me so excited about it is they said that, and this is the Loki before he got warm with Thor again. This is the Loki that when he came in, remember at the beginning of Avengers, the first Avengers, he comes in, he's blowing guys away. And he was trying to... he was trying to take us out as like human beings. I know not literally us, but guys. So, I know it's all fake.
That was the Battle of New York, right there.
Yeah, that was right after the Battle of New York.
That was like the biggest thing before the snap.
Wow, crazy.
Well, I didn't think about that at all. So we're dealing with like a crazy Loki, not like the Loki we got in Ragnarok. Okay.
Well, that's what they were talking about. It's going to be insane, man. It's going to be. It might be a little darker than we think, but that's
going to open some doors.
I think it's also going to have, because it was kind of a comedic scene. What happened with him and the Tesseract. That was actually, I was like, oh, that's great. Because everyone loves Loki. He's the favorite. He's your favorite one to hate and root for at the same time.
Of course. He's just that character. Now the next one is what gets us most excited, if I'm not mistaken. Is it? What's the next one?
The next one is, and I'm going to let you talk about this because I think you've read a little bit more on it than I have. I've only heard the rumors, but we have in summer 2021 coming to Disney Plus. So much stuff coming to Disney Plus for the MCU. What If? And this was actually, I think,
but I do like that one. But the one. We'll get to it in a second. I'm sorry, Jerry.
Oh, sorry. No, you're good. I'm just going down I'm just going chronologically, Scotty. Come on, man. No,
perfect. No, dude. It's you all guys.
So we've got summer 2021. What If? And I believe this is based on a comic series they do of one shots of what if certain combinations of characters, or what if this happened instead of something else. But Scotty, do you have a little more information on this, don't you?
I just know it's gonna. They didn't say how many episodes it was. They didn't say how long it would be. At least I don't think they did. But I know it's gonna be animated, which I wonder what kind of animation style. Instantly, is it gonna look like comic? Is it gonna look like Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse, which would be cool.
Yeah,
that would be pretty awesome.
Or it could look like. I mean, it's not going to look like Clone Wars, but it could be 3D. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do, but with it being a what if series, I'd imagine they might touch on a lot of the weird arcs that are in the comic books. Like, we might get to actually see the Hail Hydra Captain America. We might actually get to see, like, you know, more of a Pepper Pot being, you know, being the Iron figure in it. And, like, I really want to know where it's going to go, because they are going to 100% feature the voices of those actors that have portrayed them before in it.
Absolutely.
So, and for it to be animated, I just am eager to see what style they go with. That's honestly one of the ones I'm just like, you can kind of see a little bit how every other one's going to go, except that one.
Yeah.
You have no idea where that one's going to go.
You have no idea. It's gonna
be... What if? It's literally...
What if?
Yeah. But, yeah, man, I can tell you the one I'm most excited for, though, but I don't think it's the next one. What's the next one, Jerry?
The next one, okay, what we have next is something that I don't think a lot of people are excited for, but I am, because I actually like this character, and it's Hawkeye, a Disney Plus show coming out fall 2021.
With his daughter. I forget. Yeah, it's going to be him and his daughter.
I believe. Okay, cool. I didn't know that, but that's awesome, because... you know, I am a father with a daughter, and Clint is one of my wife's favorite characters too. Allison loves Hawkeye because he's got the family, and his wife is also I forget her name, but she's the actress who was the sister on, if you've ever seen Freaks and Geeks.
Oh yeah,
and
what's her name?
Love that show.
She also played Velma in
yes, in Scooby-Doo.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
And I watched those movies when I was younger and completely did not recognize that until I watched Freaks and Geeks. Actually, just a couple years. It was right before we moved up to Michigan. We binged it on Netflix. But
nice.
No, I'm so excited for Hawkeye. I mean, it's not my top one, but I love the character. I'm excited to see more stuff with him.
Oh yeah.
And it's always good to have a family man who's also
I agree.
a kick-ass superhero.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's going to be a good dynamic, and for that character, especially what he went through in Infinity War to Endgame, like, I mean, that's how they started the whole movie.
Oh yeah,
that was such a good start.
That was a great opener.
That broke me, but even though I knew what was going to happen, it's such a hard scene to watch.
Yeah, that is one of the like Peter Quill losing his mom. That was a hard scene to watch, but I think the Hawkeye one's a little bit more shocking. It's like,
as soon as his daughter dusts, I start tearing up. I start tearing up
of it. Oh man, I'm getting chills talking about it.
I cried so much through that movie. Oh my gosh.
I remember sitting in the theater and like hearing the audible gasp. It was like,
you knew it was coming, but still.
Oh, and then we knew it was coming right away.
I'm getting chills talking
about it. It doesn't change the fact how much it hurt. Oh,
God, it hurt so bad. Anyway, what's next, Jerry?
Okay, this is the one that I think made the biggest splash with everyone. I think this is the one you were talking about. You're ready for, Scotty, and I am too, because I loved, personally, I think a lot of us loved a little film by Mr. Taika Waititi called Dark Shadows. No, I'm sorry, What We Do in the Shadows, which is a fantastic comedy if you haven't seen it. Yeah. But we loved Thor Ragnarok, and coming out with the most bad A logo I've ever seen one of the Thor movies have. It looks like a metal album cover.
It does. It looks just like... This looks
Thor,
like just a
Love and Thunder.
God, the name too. It's like it could mean so much. I just know it's going to be hilarious. Oh, it's going to be so good.
It looks like a metal band's like the metal band Thor with their new album Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder. That's true, man. Troy, what do you think of that? To be honest with you, I want to hear your opinion.
So, I think it's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
it's going to be a different take on what we know. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a girl Thor.
That's just nuts.
And it's not even
in a good way.
It's going to be Natalie Portman.
I can't believe they did that.
It's going to be Jane.
When they handed her, who thought that she would ever come back? Like, does this mean that she actually? I thought they pulled like.
I thought there was serious
footage.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they pulled like file footage for her appearance in Endgame.
In Endgame? I don't know that. I don't think
maybe
they did.
She actually did it because they're like,
maybe she did.
Hey, we're gonna make you Thor. Like,
God.
And it's not like, I love Taika Waititi. People are like, oh, it's female Thor. He goes, no, it's Thor, God of Thunder.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Wow.
And have you guys ever heard the premise of the comic? Where the run where in the run where Jane Foster becomes Thor, like Thor has to go off somewhere for some reason, and so Jane has to take up the mantle. But Jane has cancer. She gets like, she basically gets diagnosed with cancer, and every time she uses her powers and becomes Thor, it progresses the cancer. But she has to. It's either she has to use it to save the world or do different things, or it's like a choice between, do I do this and progress my sickness even further and do the right thing, or do I just think of myself and which sounds, for a Taika Waititi film, I mean, he is doing a movie coming out soon where a little boy's imaginary friend is Hitler. So
yeah, that is true.
He can deal with Jojo Rabbit. Look it up. I am so excited for that film because if anyone can do dark subject matter with a sense of humor, it's him.
It's him. And like, and it's funny.
Doesn't that sound epic though?
It does. And like, speaking of Taika, I mean, he's directing an episode of The Mandalorian and he's starring as an IG droid.
Yeah.
Which is just, he's got his hand in so many little, projects right now. I'm just stoked to see what he writes, the music that they're going to put in that movie, and the fact that the Guardians could be involved is just like.
Well, and I am hoping that his old friend, our old friend Korg, is it Korg? Yeah, Korg.
Yeah,
shows back up because.
He has to.
Yeah.
That Korg and Meek were in Endgame were amazing. I loved Meek like eating the pizza while they were like so brilliant. So brilliant.
Thor, he's back. He's back. Who is it? Noob Slayer 69.
Fly over to your house and shove my hammer up your. Thanks, Thor.
That's the one I'm most excited for, really.
Yeah.
Like, and it's so funny. That's like project number 8. And then what's the next one after that? And they got even more after that now.
Well,
what's the next one that's listed?
Let's see. Is
it the last one? Okay.
That's actually it for the timeline that the official timeline they gave. They actually ended the night with Black Widow because it's the next one coming out, so they wanted to save the footage for the end. But he confirmed. He said, we've heard a lot of rumors about Fantastic Four. He confirmed Fantastic Four. They are working on it. He confirmed that they are working on working mutants into the MCU. Yes. He confirmed that they're working on Black Panther 2, on Captain Marvel 2, on what's the other sequel? Guardians 3.
Guardians 3, yep.
Oh, man.
That little end clip when he was, after the timeline came out and Blade came out and all that, when you watched the video earlier today, and I was like, wow, man, it's insane how much is still coming out after.
It's almost sickening.
This,
It's like and of course the biggest news of them all, they have now topped Avatar as the highest grossing film of all time. They did it. Avengers Endgame. I just feel like we are living in a very important time in cinema, and I'm very thankful that we can even discuss having 20 more Marvel movies and not be like, oh yeah, we gotta watch 20 more of these. We're like, we get to have more of these,
legitimately excited, especially and even the people who were like kind of like sour on the MCU at this point. I saw so many people going like, okay, MCU, you kind of lost me, but you have my interests now. It's such interesting twists and turns they're taking. It's Kevin Feige is a genius and genius. I would love for that man to get involved in Star Wars sometime. I'm not saying I want him to run it because I love the way Kathy.
He says he wants to. He has
mentioned
I would love
for him to work with them, maybe collaborate one time and see.
Whenever there's an interview out there, I don't know if someone can find it and post it for us, but there's an interview out there where he's talking about movies that inspired him to want to do this, and he literally goes, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. Those are the movies that inspired me to get this job and be this president and be a part of this whole entire industry. And I'm like, what could he do? Look what he did with Marvel, and like with Jon Favreau, and like probably one discussion, he's like, I got this idea, and look at it's just so unbelievable, and I'm just truly so excited to see where all this goes, man. I really am, really am.
So excited. Well, I know some people may not want him to get involved because they don't really care for the MCU, but again, can't deny that this man knows how to weave a narrative together.
Yeah, and
kind of work with directors and things. He's an excellent producer.
the last thing I'm gonna say is I know they got Galactus out there. He's a big villain, but like think about. We had Thanos, and like everyone actually know who Thanos was. Like Galactus is still kind of vague. I mean, people would know who he is. I mean, like with the inclusion of all of this, you gotta think there's a big bad they gotta face again at the end of this, and not just this phase, but the next 3 phases or whatever from now. It's just like, what can they hype this up to again for it to top Endgame? I mean, like it's just, God, they can go so many routes with this.
It's a little mind-boggling.
It's intimidating.
Yeah, it's intimidating. As a viewer, I'm like, I've got to actually save up some money, make sure I can go see these movies 2 or 3 times in the theaters. It's just unbelievable.
After and Troy, I'm again no spoilers, but after seeing Spider-Man: Far From Home, so when you see this, after seeing a good take on Mysterio, done on the screen. I never thought I was, and again, like I'm not a huge comic person. I don't really follow the comics and stuff, but like I used to watch the cartoons on Saturday mornings and stuff. And seeing a good take on Mysterio in a modern film, I trust them to like they are going to do so well with whatever villains they like. I can't even imagine what they're going to do. So anyway,
That's awesome. Dude,
I'm just
totally
going to keep gushing.
I'll just say one more thing. Like when you really take a moment and like reflect on it, like 21 movies and like everyone wanted to see it. Everyone wanted to see Endgame, and it just the proof's in the pudding with how much money it made. And like, it's just a lot of little things that you can get caught up in with this series, and like even with Disney Plus coming out now, like you can rewatch all those movies, and the kids can start rewatching this. It's just so cool. I don't know.
Absolutely.
We live in a very awesome time for fan culture and nerd culture.
It's a great time to be a sweaty nerd.
It is, and I feel very blessed that we're going through this right now. But I guess we need to get back to the Star Wars portion of this because we got a greater discussion coming up. But thank you for sticking around.
Yeah, I hope you're still here. If you don't like the MCU, apologies, but I hope you guys, if you liked this kind of tirade on us talking about something other than Star Wars, let us know, because this is something we're thinking about doing little kind of one-off episodes here and there.
Yeah, and they can be random days they'll be dropped. I completely agree. That'd be a great idea. And maybe we'll have Troy join us for...
Absolutely, man.
He's right around the corner.
I love talking all this.
Well, we just moved. Troy lives literally right around the corner, so we could be doing this every Sunday night again, too.
I'm down for hanging out with Troy again. We're just meeting. We got to keep this going, man, okay?
That's right.
So let's get into the beef for this, man. We always do our Bombad fact of the show, and I can't wait to get my my guest and my host opinion of this. But I was looking up Bombad facts and Jar Jar facts, and since this is the video game centric episode, I had to look up Star Wars video game, board game, whatever kind of games, and I found one, guys. I found a game, and this is exactly what it's titled: Star Wars Episode 1 Jar Jar Binks 3D adventure game.
Oh yeah.
So I clicked the link and I'm like, I've never heard of this. Well, I look at the package, and the package looks vaguely familiar, okay? It is a board game that released where you play as Jar Jar, and I think you play as several Jar Jars, and, like, you and a bunch of other people play, and, like, your goal is, like, during, and this is the funniest part, it, like, breaks canon. It's during the Battle of Naboo. Jar Jar has to go back to the Gungan city, Otha Gunga, and like, I don't know, retrieve something. Let me read the description to you. It says, dangerous
traps. Did he leave his cell phone there?
Yeah, I don't know. He must have left his smartphone. He didn't have anything to be able to, like, track Qui-Gon.
He forgot
his Sith robe and lightsaber.
Yeah, he forgot his Sith robe. Oh, it's great.
Misa forget the booba.
All right, I'll read the description for the people that can't see it. It says, this is on Amazon now. You can still buy it, apparently. It says, dangerous traps and fearsome foes must be overcome as Star Wars hero. I like it's a Star Wars hero. As Star Wars hero Jar Jar Binks tries to make his way home to Otha Gunga during the Battle of Naboo. The first player to help Jar Jar avoid all 5 deadly perils in the challenging 3D board game adventure wins. Here's how it's played. Interactive traps and challenges are installed in the multi-level die-cut board. Then each player chooses a scorecard and picks a token. If you get a token and it matches your scorecard color, you must help Jar Jar complete one of the 5 dangerous tasks. If Jar Jar successfully rides the Kadu, vanquishes the powerful battle droids, or avoids a sea monster, you collect a special metal piece. To spice up the action, there are 5 specialty tokens with unique powers. Kids will need adult help assembling the complex board, but after that, 2 to 4 young players can happily test their skills again and again. By Marianne Painter. So that's
Okay,
that's a lot, man.
That's a heck of a board game.
Am I correct in pondering that this is essentially Mousetrap with Jar Jar Binks?
It's gotta be, I guess.
That sounds spot on. I mean, to be honest.
I guess it's a trap game, yeah.
Is there like a cage on a pole that like comes down and like catches him? Like, oh no! Yeah.
Funny you said that. I'm gonna look at the screenshot I had taken.
I'm trying to zoom in on the board game here and just.
I see a bunch of tree roots. I see the battlefield, and I see a bunch of bodies of water, but that's about it. Oh,
you see the Kadu?
Yeah, you do see the Kadu.
Yeah. Gotta ride the Kadu. And he can barely do that. We saw. I wish this was in the movie. I wish like during that like epic 3-way battle scene, we see the space, we see the land, we see the lightsaber battle, and then all of a sudden there's a montage of Jar Jar like, oh no, I gotta go back to my house and. I forgot.
This should have been a Clone Wars side.
I forgot my vest.
Episode.
Yes,
like
they could have worked that in.
Great.
That's excellent.
Can you imagine George Lucas going, no, let's throw on the brakes here and just do a Jar Jar adventure?
That's what the episode 2 was titled, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was originally titled Episode 2, Jar Jar's Adventure, like the joking title, like the production
Jar
title was
Jar's
that.
3D adventure.
There you go.
That's amazing, dude.
That is fantastic.
I would play it. Hey Jerry, how about this? When you find your way to Celebration somehow, even if you have to crawl there, and we can make it work. Or Troy, if you find your way at some point, whenever we all can meet up and do this, we will record ourselves playing Jar Jar's 3D adventure.
Yes,
I will put up. I will buy it.
we need to do this at the. If I make it to the podcast meetup, we need to like have a tournament or like a high stakes. Like it's gonna look like the card game from Solo. But we're playing Jar Jar Binks' 3D adventure game. I'm talking high stakes. Like, I'm going to put up my car, my plane ride home, whatever. Yes. I don't know, like my 747, whatever I'm riding. I don't know. They do those anymore? I don't know, but we're going to do it.
I think it's excellent. Now, on the next thing I have written is we need to discuss the responses from the Thursday's Battlefront poll. Now, we're running a little short on time. I'm not going to really discuss the responses, but I'm going to read the numbers, which I think are very interesting, okay? So we put a poll out there. It's just quick and random poll that totally has nothing to do with the next episode of the Bombad Cast. Then I did those eyes, those emoji eyes, and it says, which is the best Star Wars Battlefront game and why, okay? Now, I had all the Battlefront games listed. I got Battlefront from 04, Battlefront 2 from 05, Battlefront from 2015, and Battlefront from 2017, okay? So, I'm looking, and it's funny enough, the only difference in titles is it's called Star Wars Battlefront, right? The only difference about the new games, it's Star Wars Battlefront. That's the only difference.
Yes.
It's actually titled the same exact thing, which is funny. But anyway, so the
not
2004...
confusing at all.
No, not confusing at all. It's funny, the exact same percentages from the Battlefront from 04 and the Battlefront from 15. It is 4% for both of those, right? Yep. We had 97 votes. 97 votes, too. So keep in mind, this is a lot of different opinions, but I guess it's well known that both those original Battlefront games were good, but they weren't what their falling ones would be.
Right.
Troy, read the response for Battlefront 2. I think we had about...
that one it was a 43%.
God, that's wild. 43%. Wow. And then Battlefront 2 for 2017 was 49%. So the percentages were so little, it was just that much off.
Really? But, I represent those small percentages. No.
Yeah. What did you choose, Jerry?
I think I actually chose Battlefront 2, and I believe I'm the last person playing it. But it's fun walking around looking at everything. So
From 17?
It's beautiful. Yeah, 17.
Yeah.
Gosh, and they've even got like the Felucia add-on coming soon. I don't know if you guys play it or no.
Oh, I do.
I'm so excited. Troy, we're going to have to play together sometime, man, because I love that game.
That's true, y'all could. Troy is big into streaming and stuff on Twitch. He'll get into that later. But what did you pick, Troy? Did you even get
I did. I picked Battlefront 2, 2017.
Yeah.
Woo!
It's a good game.
Yep.
That's a good game.
I just went back to the game kind of recently and played around on the whole Genosis map they just installed earlier, I believe, this summer. And, I'm still digging the game, man.
Yeah.
It had a lot of
beginning.
At the beginning, it had a lot of downs.
Yeah.
And,
the most downvoted, what was it? Comment of all time on Reddit.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And it was crazy, but I still played through it, and I mean, it's one of those games that's just fun to pop in from time to time and shoot some bad guys.
Kind of mindless. That's what I like about it. It really doesn't require that much, it requires skill, but it doesn't require like focus,
No, it's a Star Wars sandbox is all it is.
Yeah.
You
to be honest,
can go in
one of
and
my
go
favorites.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jay, go ahead.
No, you're fine. All I was saying was you pop in and go pew pew, and it was nothing. So go ahead.
One of my favorite things to do in the game actually is to do the space battles.
Yeah.
I love the space battles in that game.
The mechanics look good. I haven't played myself.
Yeah, and it's probably the least played thing on there, but personally, myself, I love it.
That's awesome.
It's so good.
And it's this funny thing. The only other game that had really good space mechanics besides, like, to me, Star Wars Jedi Starfighter, great mechanics in that game, space wise. But Battlefront 2 from 05 really had some good ones too.
Yeah,
like really good for the time. Like surprisingly good. And I chose Battlefront 2 from 05 because that's the one I spent so much time playing.
Right.
And like I remember getting it. Must have been right after Revenge of the Sith came out. I don't remember actually what part of the year it was. No, it might have been no, I don't remember now, to be honest with you. But I can tell you this. I remember playing that game literally every day that summer after it came out. Every day. Guaranteed like 4 or 5 hours. Such a fun game.
I was right there with you too, man. That was such a great game.
And I like to see these results, man. It's a really good poll, and I'd imagine, honestly, if someone like really big, like Star Wars Explained or Resistance Broadcast or even like Star Wars Theory, whoever, put out the same exact poll, and imagine the data would not be that much off than this one.
No,
like if 10,000 people voted, I'd imagine, or if like EA put one out, I do think it would be
close.
I think it'd be close just like this, because to me it's just very similar in
both
regards.
Both of those games are amazing in their own way. And
Yeah.
But speaking of games, y'all, let's get into this big discussion. We're about 50 minutes in, and that is okay. Look, we're here for a good time, all right? We're here for this discussion here, and we've been thinking about this for the past.
Bombad love, man.
They were the Bombad love and the Jar Jar fart jokes and
the fart joke from the Phantom Menace. You mean?
I forgot about that joke. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me give a little introduction here. I don't know if you listeners have played all the Star Wars games, but I can tell you this. They have tied me so much more into the fandom, and I can say that for both my friends here.
Yes.
That, like, playing these games as a child and then into my adulthood have only made me fall more in love with the Star Wars series and gaming itself. And, like, I can tell you this much. The games are an immersive experience. They make you feel like you're more involved in the story. And the reason why I had my cousin on here right now is because we've been playing games our entire lives together, and probably after this we're gonna go play Smash Bros. Like, it's just how it's gonna be. We're on vacation together. But yeah, into the greater idea, like Star Wars video games, even since I think it was the first one was like 78. I'm pretty sure they made one that had to do with the trench run in the Death Star with the it's like a line. It's like a what do they call it? I forget the exact.
It's like a linear game.
Yeah, it's one of those. It was linear, and it was also 3D too, because it would be you could follow the trench inward with just line graphics. I forget what those are called, but dude, I just, it's been a part of the culture then, and now that games are becoming far more immersive. Like, look at Vader Immortal and everything you can do with that. I just want to talk about this, man. This is such a cool thing, and I don't know if you have, Gerry, do you have any memories you want to share about playing games, you know, even at a young age or even in your adult age about doing Star Wars video games, man?
Man, well, I know that 2005 was a banner year for Star Wars games because I mean, you had Revenge of the Sith, the game.
Yep.
And also Battlefront 2. And I played those, like you said, you played Battlefront 2 2005, like all summer. Like, seriously, man, that was like my senior year. Like,
oh, that's awesome.
I graduated and then like basically spent all summer working and then playing that game. You know, it was so much fun.
That's awesome.
And I don't know, it was I guess that's the most I remember. I remember getting that, and then I remember when Revenge of the Sith, the game, was like the top tier lightsaber mechanics, and it had that
Side.
bonus like lightsaber dueling. It was so underrated, the lightsaber dueling mode. Apart from the main story, you could do like classic duels, like Vader versus Obi-Wan, and on the Death Star. So much fun. I loved it.
Yeah, and I agree with that, man. And like, there's very few games that, like, when I still pick them up to this day, like, I can name a bunch of Nintendo games. That's about it, you know. But if I can name like 4 Star Wars games that like really do bring me back, one of them was Bounty Hunter, and a lot of people really give that game some flack, and I don't know why. Star Wars Bounty Hunter, where you play as Jango Fett, is incredible.
Yep.
Like, you literally follow a Mandalorian hunter's story from being like a decent bounty hunter with a Toydarian, what was her? She was like his I guess his like Maz, pretty much. It's kind of funny to then like seeing this weird feud between Mandalorians and another bounty hunter, and you learn where Asajj Ventress lightsabers come from. They come from that oh man, her name escapes me. I'll remember it later. But like, yeah, there's a handful of games that like I can remember escaping into, and that's one of them. Troy, you got any?
Oh yes.
All right, let's hear it.
Yes. So around, so when I was 13, there was a game that came out, and it was in 2003, and it was called Star Wars: An Empire Divided. Now, for those of you who don't know what that game is, it was a MMO, and that game right there, I played for 8 years.
Oh wow!
Almost daily. Yeah. So that game was huge for me. I didn't really have a whole lot of friends, I guess, in that summer, because in the summertime, I spent playing that game
all day.
Oh yeah, all day. From the time I woke up, man, from the time I went to bed, I was playing that game. It was a sandbox MMO game, you know, one of a kind. There was no leveling in that game. It was all grinding. You know,
that's awesome.
You could be whatever you wanted to be in that Star Wars game.
What were you?
Amazing.
So I played Mon Calamari.
Oh, you still do that to this day?
Oh yeah, Mon Calamari, and he was surprisingly a Terrace Kasi artist master.
Oh, nice.
And a master doctor in the game, so I could buff myself and give myself buffs in the game, and I could also buff other people.
Oh, okay.
And made a living that way because you crafted it and sold it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that game was so immersive. You could be whatever you wanted to be. Mm-hmm. If you wanted to be a dancer and a pistolier, you could do it, man. The one thing that probably stood out to that game to me the most in the beginning was you could not just say, hey, I want to be a Jedi. That just wasn't an option.
When did it take place?
It took place in between episodes 4 and 5.
Wow.
So the Jedi were,
gone.
Extinct, basically. You would find there would be like random patrols for stormtroopers that would come through the city. You could get searched at any point in time from NPC characters, and if they found any kind of contraband on you for being a part of the Rebel Alliance, they would charge you money.
Wow.
Yeah, they would take your money from you, seriously.
Wow.
And no, but that game there was so hard to become a Jedi, and I spent pretty much all my free time I had to become one.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So the game itself had, at the time, 32 professions in the game. And in order to become a Jedi in that game, you had to find these holocrons, which were very rare. And if you found one, you either used it to become a Jedi or you sold it for a ton of credits.
Oh, and that's cool because
yeah. And so whenever you activated this holocron, it told you to master a certain skill, and you had to do 4 of these. And so basically, what you had to do is you have to do 3 of them. They tell you which ones to master, and then on the 4th one, it tells you to choose your own destiny.
Oh, that's actually really cool.
So you have to basically master professions until it says, "Hey, you're now force sensitive." Oh. And then once you did that, you had to go through this whole spill of creating your lightsaber, doing the Jedi Knight trials. I mean, it was insane.
That's wild.
Literally, if you were a Jedi, you told nobody in the game.
Wow.
Seriously.
I never knew that.
Wow.
It was such a big deal because Jedi were they were huntable. They were targetable by other players in the game.
Wow.
And if you died, you lost experience. Like you could actually go negative into your experience towards your skill trees to become Jedi.
Wild.
And it was insane, man.
That's
it was
so
so
cool.
crazy. But yeah, that just took a big part of my life. And then they changed the game up with one little update they did, and a lot of people weren't happy with it. But then a lot of people still played it. And then they did another update to the game called the New Game Enhancements, which basically tossed Sony Online Entertainment and LucasArts were together in this game, and they ran it into the ground themselves. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, I had multiple characters on the game. I had multiple accounts. Just that game there was basically my childhood, man. To be honest, I mean,
Isn't that cool? I think that's awesome.
I actually
amazing.
still have the guild that I was in. We're actually all still in a Facebook group on Facebook, and we chat
No
regularly.
way.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
That's
you
so
still
cool. See,
can
that's
keep
what that kind of stuff can do for you too.
Yes, especially with that game. And like there's so many stories about the games we all have played, and like to me that's a really good one because
It's a very
like
good story.
because like for it to be an online game as well is also a really big deal for what did you say 03?
Yeah, 03.
Oh my god, that's just like that's like the same exact time when World of Warcraft was getting big too.
Yep, World of Warcraft came out the following year in 2004. Yep.
Wow, I did not know that. Okay. Dang, it just shows that Star Wars has always been on the edge of things.
Yeah.
Like it really has always been like the ones to kind of push the limits in regards to, like video games and storytelling. That's really cool, especially the Jedi thing. I actually never knew that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that you didn't want to tell people if you were.
Oh no, you didn't tell anybody.
Wow.
Because
That's
they were
amazing.
actually they were bounty hunters, people who were bounty hunters in the game, like it was actual profession, and they had terminals to where they could go and if basically the only way you got on the terminals if you were flashing your lightsaber around, you were in the cities and you were, killing stuff and doing things with your lightsaber and your Jedi robes out. Well, they could accept your mission and they could come and hunt you down for credits.
Wow.
It was, I mean, that game was so immersive in its own way. The crafting in that game, I've never seen another game have crafting.
That's awesome.
A crafting system like that.
Isn't that wild?
They actually do have an emulator for the game, which I still play from time to time. And it's pretty active.
You showed me that.
Yeah,
I
it's
forgot.
pretty
You showed
active.
me
They
that
have
last month your place.
like over 4,000 people still play that emulator.
That's so cool.
It's huge.
It's funny, like how that is still a cultural. That's still something people do. MMOs. It seems like that'd be dead now, but like it's not.
No,
it's awesome.
It's not, and it's run by people who don't get paid to keep it up and running with servers. They just do it for their fans and the fans of their servers. Like they donate to keep the servers up
Just
and
like
running. Man,
podcasts.
it's crazy. Everybody
wild.
supports it, man. So because they want to play
Sheer
it.
passion. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that like to me, it just shows how important community is, and having a Star Wars and a good community too. Like and that's funny. That was during the prequels, and I'm sure you heard some bashing prequels talk at some point whenever you were typing. But at the same time, I'm sure a lot of people were down with the prequels too. Yeah, it's just funny that happens, and like a lot of the games we're going to cover were considered prequel games, of events, or prequel games of movies. It's just like it's interesting, and I want to get into this, and I know Gerry and I have discussed this before, how important LucasArts is. And how I miss it.
I miss it too.
I mean, my God, LucasArts, they had everything figured out. Like, really. Yeah. Really. Yeah. And like, I have a top 5 list, and some of these are LucasArts, and these aren't, and some of these are EA or whoever ended up making them. It could be made by Namco or whatever. But like, actually, if you don't mind, guys, I want to bring up one story. I want to see if Troy remembers this. So, in 2008, a hurricane came through Louisiana, and Baton Rouge was primarily affected by it. It was Hurricane Gustav. You and I hung out that whole entire time because you were just finished high school, and I was just about to go. I was in 7th grade. Yeah. And one of the things you had, because the game had not come out yet, but you had Force Unleashed, the demo. Yes. Do you remember that? Yes. You downloaded the demo, and I think you went to work that day or something during it, or you were helping your dad, and I was playing the demo to the Force Unleashed on repeat. And if you remember correctly, it is the TIE Fighter Factory part of the game. Oh, yes. Yeah?
Oh, yeah. That was such an epic demo.
Dude, it was an epic demo, because you played through the whole level. It was like a 25-minute level. Yeah. And like, you could sandbox it too. You can like pick up stormtroopers and like slam them on the ground. You can
make it different every time.
Oh, and that's great. And that's the thing. Like,
so much people, fun.
And it's unfortunate that kids nowadays will not realize that, like, when that game came out, that was the true, like, really, to me, besides Jedi, Outcast, and those games, this was like the true first game that got force powers right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, with the mechanics, because you had the ragdoll, stormtroopers, you'd throw them and their bodies would go limp. It was just so cool. And, like, things would break around textures, and apparently this game was, like, monumental in gaming as well. Like, the mechanics were monumental.
Yes,
it was. Like,
it was the first to use the Unreal Engine, wasn't it?
Oh, you're right.
It was. Yep.
Wow.
Okay, I remember that being a big deal when it first came out.
Isn't that funny? God, that's wild.
Yeah, because I mean, when in that time, the graphics, we were still seeing improvements.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, we're 10 years later, 11 years later. And graphics are substantial now.
Yeah.
But at the time when that game came out,
unbelievable.
It looked amazing.
We were blessed with Sam Witwer too.
Oh man,
God, the best Darth Maul voice. But besides that,
a treasure, a Star Wars treasure.
Yeah. And you forget that Galen Merrick looks just like Sam Witwer in the games.
Yep. Yeah.
Until like you see gameplay, you're like, dude, that's literally Sam Witwer. And Sam Witwer hasn't aged a day too, which is even funnier. But like I just remember that story. I just remember that memory very well. And we played Rock Band a lot. We played Halo 3 a lot and Legendary.
Yeah.
But I remember vividly playing the demo like over and over again, because it was just so good.
How about the storyline to that game when it finally came out?
Oh, nuts.
How insane is that?
Nuts.
Like, that was such a mind-blowing story.
It was. And like, from the Secret Apprentice, and Vader killed that dude in Kashyyyk, and it led to them going to Felucia. Then they went to, what was the other planet? They went to Raxus Prime, I'm pretty sure too. Right? Is that the or is that Unleashed 2? I don't remember. One of them went to Raxus Prime. That
they
was the
bleed
trash
together
world.
For me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was in the second one.
Okay, that was sick though.
But I could be wrong.
Those games were just so good.
Yeah, they were so good. I loved the ending of that first one.
Yes.
And then you got to choose who you were gonna.
So good.
Oh man, just all this stuff.
It kind
so
of
good.
And it kind of played really well to the EU concept of stuff too. It was one of those games, and I don't know. I just am so thankful that we got to grow up during the LucasArts era. We didn't grow up with the phone game era. There's a lot of good things about that, but at the same time, we got to see pretty experimental gaming, like really experimental gaming. But anyway, y'all, I don't know if you want to get into it, but we got a top 5 list of all the games. We can go on for reasons why. Gerry, do you want to give your list first, bud? Do you want Troy to go first?
Sure. No, I can start this. I can light this candle. All right, let's do this.
Light the candle, baby.
All
light
right,
the spark.
right.
Be the spark.
I've got to I wrote down every single Star Wars game I remember playing for like my entire life, minus the Game Boy Color version of I think I don't know if it was like I don't think it was Super Star Wars, but it was something similar.
Okay.
But that's not on my list. That's just a bonus. I'd have to say, gosh, my top 5. Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast, the lightsaber mode I played all the time. My cousin had it, and I would play that all the time. That is still one of the best lightsaber games to me. I haven't played it in a long time, but I wish that they would re-release something like that because it's with like updated graphics and all. It's so just the way they did the light. It was right after Episode 1 had come out.
Yeah, and
so I remember a new thing from Episode 1 was whenever Qui-Gon's cutting the door and you have like the molten metal around the lightsaber. That was like a new thing where people were like, so when a lightsaber would go into a wall, it would leave kind of this like orange trail. And if you like walked into a wall, it was the first game that started like doing that. So I thought that was just unreal when I was a kid. I thought it was so unreal. At least I think it was the first. It might have been Jedi Power Battles. I can't remember. But
that's still cool, though. I didn't think about how that kind of adds a little bit of immersion in there.
I had never.
That's pretty awesome.
I had never seen it, and it at the time it was like Force. It was before Force Unleashed. It was like this is what it would be like to be a Jedi. Like the way they jumped and things like that. It was just amazing. But that I'd have to say that. So Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast, specifically the lightsaber mode, because I never played the story, unfortunately. Let me see here.
Those are good though.
Battlefront 2 2017. I've got to give my shout out because that's still, if you haven't given it a chance because of kind of how it started out, go back and get it and play it. It's like super discounted now. And they are giving you everything. You do not have to pay for anything, and that's
awesome.
It's not even. They've changed it too, where you don't people can't just buy upgrades and you can't buy your way to a good character anymore. Like you have to I don't think, I can't really remember. You have to. There is a little bit of leveling up, so they've kind of fixed some of the issues and stuff. So the issues that people had with it. So go back, give it a chance. They've just added the droidekas, destroyers into the game.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
There's a classic game. The Galactic Conquest is exactly the old Battlefront model of capturing command posts.
Oh,
and it's amazing.
But it's all players. It's all real people.
Wow. Did you bring your PS4?
I did not. No.
Oh, dang it! Sorry.
it's all the super realistic graphics. It's beautiful.
Oh
beautiful.
Yeah. It's great. And the story mode in that game is actually pretty cool.
What's her name?
It was a surprisingly amazing story, even for how short it was.
What was her name, Gerry? Canon Junkie.
Janina Gavankar.
Her character name.
Iden Versio.
Iden Versio, yeah.
They pulled a Sam Witwer with her and made her look exactly like that.
There's some ties to the movies and stuff.
Yeah,
and
totally.
the storyline as well.
Shriv's great.
Yeah.
Shriv's
there's
awesome.
even ties to some of the canon novels. There is you see Han at spoilers at Takodana with a beard.
He's got the beard.
That is full on there's a plot thing in Star Wars Aftermath Life Debt that is them liberating Kashyyyk, and then Han Solo meets them. He has the beard and stuff, and
that's cool.
It ties into that. It's so
awesome.
So many canon tie-ins in that game.
Hey, we're gonna get into it later. We're gonna talk about Fallen Order later, but that game's gonna do it too. It's gonna do it. It's gonna take it to the next level.
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
Let's see, I think I've got 3 more, so I'm gonna go. Let's see. Might have to go because I'm gonna brag on all of them if I could, but. Got to give props to Lego Star Wars. Just all the Lego Star Wars games are amazing. Especially I love just the complete saga and all that. I'm so excited for the complete Skywalker saga to come out next year.
Yes. We didn't talk about that. That trailer was sick.
Did you hear that it's open world too? You can get out in a ship and fly to other planets. Oh my gosh. I don't care if it's Lego. That's going to be amazing.
The best Lego game.
Oh, it will be. It'll be the greatest Lego game ever made.
I mean,
they're gonna put their all into that game. I know
it's gonna be so good. I can't wait.
The Marvel ones, I've watched gameplay. Those Marvel ones are actually really good too.
The Marvel ones, I have the Marvel Avengers one.
Yeah.
And what else do I have? I think I have the Harry Potter one as well.
Okay. And they're a little open world too.
Yeah, they are.
That's so awesome. Oh, dude, that game's gonna be incredible, Jerry. I think it's gonna be the best entry in all of it.
It was so. It's amazing, and I can't wait. But let me see here. Just real quick again, I'm trying to decide between these two. Disney Infinity, the Star Wars worlds that they have.
Yeah.
Me and Allison got so into collecting the Disney Infinity figurines. We've got a ton of them. We don't have all of them, but.
No way.
The last iteration of Disney Infinity, because my wife's a big Disney fan. I love Disney stuff too. It's no, and I mean, we have a bunch of Marvel characters. We have a ton of Disney ones, and the Star Wars. I hate that they ended when they finally brought Star Wars into it. I know they couldn't keep up with everything, but the figures are. I know like. That kind of version of gaming is fallen under and no one's really doing it anymore. It's kind of like fallen by the wayside.
It was cool for a while.
But the figurines are surprisingly well made. They are they're displayable. They're pieces of art.
That's sick.
And that is really cool.
I didn't know that. That's actually really sick.
They're very nice. I mean, they're like detailed and very like strong, good material. And seriously, I would display them on a desk if I could. Like if I had a way to display them. They're kind of in a tote underneath one of our futons right now. But just because there's no place to put them, there's so many of them that we've got. But seriously, the craftsmanship and the stylization of the figures is top notch. So if you find those, they're super cheap now. You can send them to me or just find them. Buy them for yourself and display them. But the game was actually fun too. Like, especially the original trilogy game, and I haven't finished it yet. I still have it. I want to finish it. But the original trilogy world is so much fun, and there's so many little cool unlockable things that are like little Star Wars-y nuggets of goodness. Like, you can drive the speeder, and anyway, it's fantastic. So
that's
also
really
sandbox building game, but you can build your own like worlds and stuff in part of the game too. What they call the toy box. So check that game out if you haven't. Give it a try.
That's awesome though.
You can find it for pretty cheap now, I think too.
I guess people forget that game exists. That's true. That is. I've seen gameplay and it looks really sick.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And let's see. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna say Battlefront 2 2005 is just a non-mention. I know one of you guys is probably gonna mention it because I love that game and it was like one of my favorite games forever. But I have to go with, and I'm probably going to get some flack for this, but this is one of the most fun Star Wars games ever, and I hardly ever play it anymore. Star Wars Connect.
Star Wars Connect.
Have you ever played that?
What's the solo song? I'm
Han Solo.
I'm Han Solo. The one where he's dancing.
You cannot find any of those Star Wars parody songs anywhere. I want to find the We No Speak a Huttese.
Wait, you can't find them?
No,
what do you mean?
I can't find them on iTunes because I'm an old man and I want to buy them to listen to on my iTunes. I want to listen to them in my music box, but I know I can find them on YouTube. But it takes so much more battery to listen to them on YouTube. But anyway, gosh, so many fun songs with the dancing thing, and then you've got some lightsaber training you can do. There is a mini game. There's a game where you are a Rancor.
Okay.
Storming Felucia. It was so much fun. My wife has a video of me and one of my best friends from Arkansas like playing that game and looking completely ridiculous. Like you walk hunched over like a Rancor, like you're trying to like destroy the most stuff. It's so much fun. Gosh, so many. But I'm gonna stop because I want to hear Scott. Let's move on to Troy. Troy, what's your list, my man?
All right. So on my list, first and foremost has got to be, of course, I talked about it a lot earlier, but Star Wars Galaxies and Empire Divided. I mean, gosh, that game just had such an impact on my childhood and everything. I still love it. I still play the emulator. Even though the live servers aren't on, it's still just as good. Second on my list has to be Star Wars The Old Republic, the MMO as well.
Oh, yeah. Everyone has a lot to say about that game.
I am actually still a current subscriber to that game, and I still play at least once or twice a week.
Wow.
That's awesome, man.
I'm not as active as I used to be in it. So, funny story, a lot of the guild mates that I was in with Star Wars Galaxies, we all moved to that game when it came out, and we all had our guild, and we ran raids, we did operations, you know, we were big into that game for a while too. And then everybody kind of just fell out of it.
Yeah.
But it's still fun. They have a new expansion.
I saw that.
The first expansion in 3 years.
I saw that at Celebration.
And it's going to be called Star Wars The Republic Onslaught.
Okay.
And just to give you guys a little, 411 on this DLC, this expansion coming out for it. Basically, the last expansion, the Republic and the Sith joined forces to take on this greater foe called the Eternal Throne.
Oh.
And so now that is all done and said and done, the Republic and Sith will be going back at it toe to toe. So
that's
they'll
awesome.
be raining war on each other again.
Oh, that's awesome.
But anyway, moving on. Next on the list has to, of course, be the Lego Star Wars, the complete saga.
Oh, what'd you play it on?
Brilliant.
I played it on Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah.
To funny story about this game, me and a few buddies stayed up all weekend, 48 hours, and 100%ed this game.
That is awesome.
Throughout the
Talking about
weekend.
Neil and Nate?
Oh, yeah.
No, that's amazing.
And another buddy that worked with us at the time. But, yeah, we stayed up and we went in shifts and we were like, we are going to 100% this game. And it was my copy on my console, so I would still have that actually.
No way.
Yes,
That's so awesome.
You got to pull that up when you get home and take a picture of it.
And then, so after that, we have Star Wars Battlefront 2, 2017. Like you said earlier, Jerry, just great game.
Absolutely.
All the negativity it got in the beginning, just we can get by that,
Yeah,
And
give it a chance,
go
guys.
pick it
Just
up.
give it a chance.
Go pick it up.
Come
You're
play
gonna
with
love
me
all
and
the
Troy.
characters. Yeah, it's great. So and then after that we have 2 games that are my personal favorites, and they are the Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I still play those games from time to time and just jump right into them, man, because they are such good role-playing games. I mean, the story in them is immaculate. I would have to say the Old Republic, even though it's not, canon or anything, it's still one of my favorite things about Star Wars.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, there's so much story involved in there.
Yeah. It's such a good twist.
Oh, man.
I'll never forget hearing the twist. And funny enough, Alex from Star Wars Explained, he has a series where he plays through Knights of the Old Republic,
Oh,
right?
really?
Yeah, and he's got an episode. It's I think a 12 episode thing. And I actually never knew the twist.
Yeah.
So when I was watching his videos, I took a whole day and watched all of them. And I was like, "Are you kidding me? You are the bad guy the whole, it's...
You are. Yep.
It is, if you haven't played it, I'm sorry if I spoiled it for anyone.
No, it's
it
I,
is one
I
of
actually
the,
haven't, but that
haven't?
is awesome. No, I really haven't. I'm a Star Wars. I've played it, but I haven't finished it. But dude, seriously,
Jerry,
that's so cool. I want to go watch these videos now.
Go pull it up when you have a free
Go watch 'em.
moment at work or after work tomorrow.
Those games are, I don't know if you have a good PC or not that runs it, but I mean, they're always on sale on Steam and they're cheap. I mean, they're so cheap. And you can buy them and play through them. That's where I play them on is Steam now. So
Yeah.
I actually have Old Republic 1, the first Old Republic game, on Xbox 360 still, and I have it still.
perfect. Play it.
I just haven't
You'll
ever.
love it.
I'm gonna have to.
This twist is phenomenal.
That's so cool. I heard it was one of the best stories, forever. It
is.
Christian Harloff, goes off about that, how that's his favorite
Yeah.
thing too. So epic. Just that sounds epic. So I don't know,
But
man.
yeah,
That sounds great.
that's my list of my games. Scotty, what about yours, man?
Okay, so funny enough, I wanted to point this out while you were saying it, Troy. All your games you listed were like really good PC games.
Yes.
And it's funny, that's just what you grew up playing with, and you still play PC.
Yep.
And Gerry, it seems like you are more console like mine are going to be, right?
Oh, I'm a console
And
man.
isn't that funny how different, even to this day,
Some might say
gamers
less
are-
cultured.
Yeah, exactly. Less cultured group. But my games were really way more childhood-based games that I like just put in. Like, my favorite, I remember playing this with my dad every now and then. I played it with my buddies too growing up. Star Wars Pod Racer was that for me. And it was the first to introduce me to multiple characters. Like, you could play as Dud Bolt.
Yeah.
You could play as Sebulba.
Yeah.
Anakin. You could play as that guy that I made on the last episode.
Ebby Endicott or something?
Yeah,
The-
Ebby Endicott. Yes.
The naked monkey man guy who
Yes.
wears clothes
I
in
could
that
play
game.
as him. And I remember it just taught me that, like, and I forgot you have an upgrade system too. You can upgrade all as many races as you did. You got certain points and credits. You can update your pod racer. It really was one of those games that like introduced me to like racing, and like of course Mario Kart came after that for me. And like it was just, I don't know, it's just a really good game, and even the mechanics are still good to this day when you pick it up.
Yeah.
And like all the sound effects and stuff, it's just a good game. I can almost hear like whenever you make a lap what it sounds like in my head right now. But
Yeah.
another one for me. I'm gonna go a little bit off the list, but it's on the list, but around it a little bit. I have Rogue Squadron / Jedi Starfighter. Now,
Ooh.
there was 2 Jedi Starfighters, if I'm not mistaken. The first one I had was really good. It introduced me to like the idea of, you know, space battles and like being able to go 360, and
Yeah.
it really felt right. And you played as a Jedi. You played as dang it, I can remember her name early, but I couldn't remember now. But you played as a Padawan to someone who's in the Jedi on the Jedi Council, and like you are the first to in the story to actually see the Separatist or the Trade Federation doing stuff, right? And you're like, what is going on? Why are these ships coming out now? They're attacking Jedi, and it's like, you know. To me, it's kind of a cool backstory that you would have never have thought of, and like it leads all the way to the Battle of Geonosis. I think it ends right after that. But
cool.
It's a really good game, and it's like I think maybe 10 or 12 levels, but they're very long. They've got like 5 or 6 waves per thing, and each wave, and you had other people that were with you. It's an interesting game, and had actually pretty good cutscenes. My next one, which I already talked about, was Star Wars Bounty Hunter, and like it's so cool. You start off the game, you're fighting this beast in the game. If I'm not mistaken, it's the same beast from Attack of the Clones. I'm pretty sure it's the same exact. What are that thing they fight on Geonosis? The beat, whatever the.
Is it
Acolyte
the
monster?
Reek?
Maybe. I don't know.
Like the
Acolyte was the big
bull-like
praying
thing with the
mantis.
3 horns?
No, not that one. Not the
Okay,
Acolyte.
not the
The thing
Acolyte.
that Anakin rides, correct?
Yes, the thing that Anakin
It's
rides.
the Reek.
Yes.
The Reek. R-E-E-K.
Okay.
And it reeks,
Yes.
I bet.
Yes.
It looks like it smells probably horrible. But
Yes. It's
like that
it's
shot.
like a rhino.
What about that shot where like Anakin's about to jump on it and it like shakes and it like the whole like back jiggles and stuff? It's just
Yes,
like
yes.
oh, George Lucas, you maniacal genius, you. Oh.
Yes. But funny enough you say that, there's a part where you have to like jump over it and shoot him in the back. That was the weak spot.
Yeah.
And like the game just built on itself, and like your mini bosses would be crap like that. You just do that same stuff over again. But for me, who was like 8 or 9 years old, to pick it up was incredible. And I remember this vividly. It's very funny. I remember playing it in front of, I think, my mom or my Aunt Celeste, and you could light people on fire, and they were not very keen on that. Like, you can go to pedestrians, and they're like, he's a bounty hunter, he's lighting people on fire, and you're like, torching them, and you can capture bounties. It had very cool gameplay that you wouldn't see nowadays. It kind of felt like GTA, but you're, you know, you can kill anyone.
GTA Star Wars Edition, you know?
Yeah, exactly. You can kill anyone, and you were kind of a bad guy, and like you went through the factories of Coruscant. I mean, like it was a cool game, and a lot of people give it some crap, and I don't know why. I feel like you should sit down. Maybe the story's not good enough for you, but definitely the like where they take you in Star Wars is not what you expect. You even go to Malastare, I'm pretty sure. Like you go Tatooine, Malastare.
Oh, wow.
You go to some other place. You go all over the place though. It's a very odd game, and I love it. Now my next one on my list, I had Star Wars Battlefront 2. Let me see if I have my stats still up. I posted my stats on Twitter because I played it the other night, and like, if I can just tell you how much effort I put into this game back when I was a kid, it's just unbelievable. And like, I still have the memory card saved.
Nice.
And like, I played it. I must have played it. I wish I could log the hours, but my stats are pretty good. I'm pretty proud of them. Like, my average kill was like 69 kills a match. It was an easy game. And I actually have it on, I always put it on a very difficult level. But yeah, like, to see, you know, everything that you can do, like, you can get certain skills and certain things out of, like, you know, how many amount of kills you got. Like, my endurance in the game is 431. It's considered legendary of like how many endurance skills. For my Guardian, I got 159 legendary, and War Hero, I got 78. It's just like,
oh man,
it's weird, you know. And I never cared about stats, but it's the first game I ever played where I was like, I want to be like the best at this, you know. And me and my friend Olivia would play when we were growing up, and like we tag team that game, and like I just remember falling in love with the game, and it kind of taught me a lot about, like, you know, how important it is to win at a game, you know, because it is important to me to, like, you know, be able to achieve a game and be one of the best in it. So yeah, it taught me that. It taught me how to do that and how to play to win. So you would, Scott, would you say that you wanted to be the very best, like no one ever was? Like, yeah, just like no one ever was. To cue the music. To kill them is my greatest test, and to train them is my cause. It could still work for Star Wars. It works. Maybe,
okay. Maybe not also for that game. If the Pokemon reference. Yeah,
a little bit. We went to a Pokemon Go event today. If anyone else is a Pokemon Go person, add me on Pokemon Go. We'll give you our
we'll tweet out our friend code.
Yeah, and you can add us anyway. My last one, I'm pretty sure. I think I went through most of them. My very last one, which has actually a very special story to me. It is the Star Wars. It was called Lego Star Wars, the video game, and it was the prequel. It was the first one. The first one. Now, it must have came out in like 04 or 05. Because, it was something like that. Because it revealed how Revenge of the Sith would end. Yes. I'm pretty sure it might have been right after Revenge of the Sith.
I think it was right after. Right after this movie.
And I'll tell you this. That's one of the only games that I remember, like, I think 100% of that one as well. But I remember beating every level at that age. And, of course, like, when you're, like, 8 or 9, that's, like, a big deal. You know, you beat every level. But the coolest thing, y'all, and still to this day, it gives me chills. You could go into an area that would allow you to see Episode 4, like the very beginning of Episode 4. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And once you beat every level and you unlock a certain amount of things, and I think you have to pay for it too with your studs, you could get into the first level of the next game.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's the first game that I'm getting chills talking about, that I ever played that showed you that will be a sequel to this. There will be a sequel to this, and it plays right into, you know, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, you play as a stormtrooper and Darth Vader. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken. I believe you're right. You do, yeah. Yep. And then the next game, you play as Leia and R2.
Yes, you start out.
God! It's so, this gave me chills. And, like, I remember, like, as a kid, I would, like, put one disc in, take the other disc out. Like, seeing the comparisons of how different it was. And, like, that was the first game to ever do that. And it's funny, all of it took place, and I never understood why this was the overworld. Was Dex's Diner. Was the overworld. It's so weird. Why couldn't they have done, like, the Theed Palace or something?
Something crazy.
Something, but they chose Dex's Diner.
But for the next game, it was the Cantina, so it totally tracks, because it's like, let's just find the eating establishment of the trilogy, and we'll go there. Yeah, but they could have done the Outlander Club, you know, so.
Watch it be, like, when you go in the new one, it's going to be like Maz's Cantina.
Oh, Troy.
Oh, you just blew my freaking mind, man.
If you're right, though.
How crazy would that be?
Why would it be Dex's Diner? It could have been the Outlander Club, or hell, it could have been somewhere in Mos Espa. Like, they really could have, you know, they could have been the pod. I don't know, but I could say this much: that pod racing game, for the Star Wars the video game one, Lego video game, whatever it was called, Star Wars Lego Star Wars, the video game. That one, that pod racing match was unbelievably difficult.
So much
the challenge
fun,
of a lifetime. But I will say that's the very first game that ever really like showed me that there could be a sequel. You know,
the Rogue Squadron game.
Yeah.
That you talked about.
Yeah.
Is that the one for the N64?
Yes.
That was the hardest game that I have ever
Unbelievably
played.
hard.
As a kid.
So hard.
I remember rage quitting on that game so many times. Man, gosh. I still have that game.
Yeah.
It's
I have that cart too.
In my little office right now, back home.
That's awesome. And it's one of those, it really is one of those games that like taught me that you could, you know, they had sound clips and like you can hear like Luke talk and you hear Wedge talk. It's just like,
that's so cool.
I don't know, like as a kid when you're playing these games, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this, playing these Star Wars games, like it's kind of cool to hear your heroes out of context. They're not saying the same lines in the movies. You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
Video games were the first, audiobooks were there, but as a kid you didn't listen to that. When you were a kid and you were playing these games, you could hear Luke say like, you know, help me Lando, and like you would never hear that in the movies.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool that you can have these different experiences. And you know, speaking of different experiences, I want to kind of get into this. And of course we're gonna have Fallen Order come out, which we're all excited. We could probably talk about Fallen Order for hours. But I want to get into one thing in particular. And there's a lot of speculation. I feel like a lot of the listeners are really going to enjoy it. But they recently had the first episode come out for the new VR game Vader Immortal, right? And how many of you heard it? I want to hear some audible answers. How many of you watched it? Good. I'm glad you watched it. It was pretty good. Yeah. Yay. So I heard a lot of yeses. Yeah. I heard a lot of yeses, but I don't have the VR headset myself. I know Alex from Star Wars Explained did a review, and I know Star Wars Theory did a review. Now, we're going down the speculation rabbit hole. Are you ready, Gerry?
I am ready, my friend, because I don't
ready,
have an
Troy?
Oculus Rift.
I'm ready.
Oh, okay. All right. Perfect.
I don't
Okay.
have an
Same
Oculus
boat.
Rift, but I have YouTube, so.
Yes.
Right. I don't have the VR headset thing.
I feel like once it's perfected in like 5 years from now, we're all going to have them. It's going to be a VR podcast.
Maybe. I know that was a big thing that came out, and people thought it was going to take off. And
Yeah.
everybody I talk to is the same. It's just like,
Slowly getting there. Slowly.
you know, they're like, I've seen it, but I don't really have one.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to get one.
Yeah.
You know, kind of thing.
I
But
agree with that. And oh, sorry, Jay, what's up?
Oh no, I was just gonna say, eventually we're all going to have this. I think maybe when I'm like almost dead and gone. But this, I don't think this technology is going anywhere because they keep making advancements. But it is like it's so almost unattainable for the average consumer right now.
It is.
But anyway, that's why we have YouTube.
Exactly. And what I want to get to is I don't watch this man's videos often, but I do like his content. It's pretty good. Star Wars Theory. And at one point he did a really good speculation about what he saw and what he, I guess, took in as the as something very mysterious that's happening in the storyline right now. And that's the inclusion of a character that is faceless, has a mask over, like a shawl or something over his face.
It's like
and has
straight
a very,
up like bag, like a hood.
Yes.
Executioner's hood.
Executioner's hood. That's funny. Bring this up too. This character's got a very dark and deep voice. Kind of reminds me of Andy Serkis a little bit. And we're talking about. I don't know if he even has a name. Does he have a name on the poster or no?
The Black Bishop.
So. Is that what he's called?
It's the character, I believe, is called the Black Bishop because he was the one that everyone was like speculating over, like, who is this new character? What is going on? Well, I don't think they say his name. Vader might say his name in the actual game, but I can't really remember. That's who that is.
Well, so the first look we ever got of this dude was just like you're looking through a grate in the video game and you're looking down. Like you really can't see him.
Yeah.
And I think you can get another view of him when you're looking up at him through another grate in the ground. And like all you see is this dude kind of like hovering around, and he's very tall. He's like taller, a little bit taller than Vader, and he's got a very odd shaped head and his face is covered. Now, recently for San Diego Comic-Con, they dropped a new poster of this character, right? And I'm just gonna go out and say it. That's Snoke. It's just there's no other explanation for this. If we're looking at, you know, there's got to be a way to tie this character in, especially since they killed him off so early, right?
Yeah.
I honest to God think if someone's going to try to achieve, which Vader's trying to achieve, immortality in his castle for this game, and you know who wrote this? Pretty sure the guy who wrote Batman Begins in the Batman trilogy.
David Goyer, yes, it was David Goyer.
He's an incredible writer.
Think about that. They had an amazing film writer write this for a video game.
There's so many ties and threads, y'all.
There is.
And like, I just want to hear y'all's take on this. Like, and you said something really good earlier, Troy, before we even talked about it.
I did, yeah. We were talking about it, and I watched the video. And what if it's Snoke, and it's pre the mark on Snoke's face? Like, what if in the video game, in a later episode, you actually
after the Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker comes out,
after Rise of Skywalker, or
I'm thinking this is when the next one's going to drop, yeah.
And you see Vader strike this man or whatever, and his little thing gets revealed, and it's Snoke.
And it's like scarred on his face.
That's who scarred his face, and that's how we get the tie-in. and all that.
Oh, could you imagine? It would be the best way to introduce that this character had a past to it, Vader. Yeah, and it would be, it would honestly make this character that everyone was so dying to know his backstory way more richer. You'd be like, wait, this dude knew Vader? And maybe he ducked out after that because he was scared of Vader. He was scared of the Empire, what the Empire could do. Well, I don't know, man.
You know, Scott, I think we kind of talked about this a little bit last week, and I was a little more maybe skeptical on it. Yeah. But only because I'm just, I don't know what... Usually they're like, we're not going to reveal big things in the extra canon material. Yes. But when you talk about the identity of Snoke, I don't think we're getting that in the movie. I think we're getting what we get. And I think we're going to get Snoke's backstory in a canon novel. Or this, you think about... I didn't really think about how prolific David Goyer's career is, because he has a pretty prolific career. Again, writing Batman Begins, Dark Knight. Something that I just realized, in the visual dictionary for The Last Jedi, the Snoke page, Snoke has a ring that the stone in the ring is obsidian rock from Vader's castle.
From Vader's castle, yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and it kind of was setting
Vader's castle in the game. So
it was almost setting him up as like a Vader fan guy again, like he was the fan of like Vader and Palpatine, but it could maybe he was working with them, and that's why he has those things.
It just gets me so excited. Like, Gerry, I don't know if you can do it, but on your show notes, zoom in as much as you can, and like I just see the outline of the nose and like somewhat of like the brow of this guy and the forehead.
It almost looks like the hood is actually sheer. I didn't notice it until I zoomed in here, but it looks a little more sheer, which would explain how he could see.
Yes, and look at the ear position too. It just, to me, and see that big old hump on the top? I don't think that's a part of his head. I think that's like a piece that's on top of the hood.
I think that's like, the hood, yeah.
For anyone listening right now, do yourself a favor, pause this. I mean, being serious too. Pause it, look up the Black Bishop San Diego Comic-Con poster, and like, just look at it. Like, the height of this character, the way his arms are positioned, I'm 100% convinced this is Snoke.
It's gotta be.
I just, the ears and everything, it's just
the clothes. I mean, look at the clothes.
It's very real.
I was about to say that. Look at the gold fringing and stuff.
Oh, and like, there's nothing. He's got some sort of a cape, and he's got like a really elaborate hood, and Snoke has a hood in The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens.
Gotta be.
I just think so, and I think the story's going to revolve around Vader trying to achieve mortality, and maybe whatever machine they're using to try to achieve it, like, hits Snoke and it scars him. I don't know. Or a lightsaber. I don't know. I just know Snoke's got a giant hole in the side of his face, I think. Yeah. He's got, like, holes all over his body. But it is the voice. It's the voice that was, like...
Even the voice, yeah.
Was so dark and, like...
The voice was so close, and do we have voice credits? Has anyone been able to find voice credits on this? I mean, I know
don't think so.
there's someone else doing Vader other than James Earl Jones. It's another voice actor he does fantastic. But if it's like actually Andy Serkis, I don't think it is. Otherwise, we probably would have figured it out. But it is so close to Serkis. I'd have to listen to it again. So good. Because I watched this a few weeks ago, or whenever it came out, I watched the walkthrough. But
and it seems the story of that game is really going to play out interesting if they're going to have a screenwriter come and jump on it.
Absolutely.
Right, it's got to mean something bigger.
But look about how incredible the story, and this is not a phone game. This is like a very expensive, very exclusive game that people are going to play.
Yeah.
And think about, like, of course it's not gonna reach the masses, but to me it's almost like a really important canon novel. Right. Honestly, like, Iden Versio, great character, great story, really didn't play that much to the overall Skywalker saga. Now, this could, and Fallen Order might. I mean, you don't know. This, to me, what I'm looking at with Snoke is almost as important to me, which might be a little ridiculous, as like the Ezra Thrawn thing at the end of Rebels, which is like a really big deal. Yeah, they just disappear. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm looking at this character and it just looks so promising. And it might not be. It might just be some Mustafarian guy. Like, it really could not be that big of a deal. But I don't know, if all the strings are playing right, and like, just looking at this dude's face, it just looks like, I don't know. I could pull a photo of Snoke right now and do a side by side, and it almost look identical where the nose is positioned.
Scott, you're convincing me more and more.
I'm sorry. I hope our viewers take this and run with it too. I'm gonna look up a photo of Snoke.
I know they've been like speculate. Like, people have been speculating this, but this is like, I've paid no attention to it. When you look at this, this actually is not billed as a game. It is billed as a VR series. You interact with it like a game.
Yes,
it's almost like the Telltale games. It's like a season.
Yeah, it's like a Telltale game. Yep.
It's like a mini series.
I'm seeing if I can find a side view of Snoke's face right now, because it's just so close.
The more you say it, the more I'm like, why are they covering his face like this if they're not going? It's a literal reveal hood. Like, I mean, that headgear was built to pull off of his head.
Yes, and like, and I just remember all this speculation coming out about how important this character is going to be, and everyone, thinking he was going to be the next big one, and I respect that opinion 100%. Troy and I were convinced of that. Yeah. And then they axed him in the halfway through The Last Jedi, and we're like, okay, very odd,
Rian Johnson was just like, he was just like, you know what, we're going to just turn this whole story around.
Yes.
Like, you know what, we don't care what you think.
And like, I'm looking at it right now, and it just looks so convincing that it could be a young Snoke, and this could totally tie into how he knew Vader. And I don't know, I would love for this to be true, and it might not be, but I would love for it to be true.
I'm loving it more and
more. Darth Vader's little minion that you see in Rogue One. That goes and fetches the door for him.
Yeah, and then you're right. It could be just.
But I don't think so, because you see this guy teleport out in the game.
Yes, you're right. I forgot about that.
He just kind of vanishes.
Disappears. You're right.
And then that's when Vader starts seeing the projections of Padme.
Yes.
All that. So it's.
Jeez. I can go on about this forever.
Yes, it's insane.
It can be very intense. But does anyone else have any final remarks on that in particular? You want to say anything else, Gerry or Troy?
It's Snoke.
I got nothing to. I mean, it looks like he just like whatever happens at the end of Vader Immortal, Snoke just whoever this guy is, he just went to his quarters and grabbed his bathrobe and then headed to the unknown regions.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna roll.
Yeah, I'm bouncing. Yeah. See you guys. All right.
I completely agree, and I don't know. We have Fallen Order written on here. Troy, do you want to add anything about what you're excited about Fallen Order? This is the first, like, I'm pretty sure it's a pretty linear and canon wise, but like.
So, my take on it is I think it's going to be a Force Unleashed 3 in a sense.
Oh.
Okay, so you got a new character.
Yeah.
He's canon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, we've learned that. We're gonna see some old new faces. You know?
Apparently, we got Saw Gerrera
Yeah,
out of
we're
Oh,
nowhere.
gonna
I
see-
love that.
Oh my god,
That was a cool
Whenever
reveal.
I saw that, I kind of screamed.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I was
Like-
like, it's a tie-in. Oh my
They
god.
already got a tie in the first clip we see of it. You're right.
But yeah, man, I think the from what I saw, there's like 20. You know, they have 25-minute gameplay
Yes.
demos on YouTube and stuff like that. People got to play at E3
Mm-hmm.
and different stuff, and so. But from what I've seen, I really love it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to
Yeah.
play it. I mean, Respawn is the people who are making the game,
Mm-hmm.
and they make all kinds of games like Titanfall,
Okay.
Apex Legends, you
Yeah.
know, all that stuff. So
They've been killing it.
I think,
recently.
yeah, they really have. They've been really killing it.
That's
so,
awesome.
I'm really excited. And then what's the actor's name? That
Oh boy, that's an
playing
ah.
Cal.
Shameless. Dang it.
I can't remember, but he's in Shameless. He plays the Joker in Arkham. And,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they could have got a better actor for that. So
And he's a young guy, and
he's
like,
young. It's really gonna be cool. I'm ready to see the story because
Me too.
He's just a Jedi on the
Yeah,
run. You
yeah.
know, like it's gonna be so cool.
And
to see
also,
that.
I feel bad for myself now and Gerry. Think about November, we're going to get The Mandalorian, then we're getting this game, and then we're getting The Rise of Skywalker. We're going to have too much to talk about.
Yeah, you guys
we're going
are
to be
gonna be
sick. We're gonna-
slammed.
Oh my God. Hey, maybe next time you come on, T, will be after you beat Fallen Order. We can talk
Hey,
about that.
It's gonna be awesome.
There
I
we go.
can't wait.
Stream the whole thing, too.
That game will be streamed for
Got it.
sure.
Perfect.
Cameron
Perfect.
Monahan.
Cameron Monaghan. That's the guy who's
Ne-
playing.
That's right.
Never-
Yeah.
Yes.
Never doubt IMDb. That's all I gotta say.
Yes. Yes. Okay, wait. There's one thing I do want to bring up with this game. Now, I don't know if you saw the clip, but there's a clip where he and the little droid are going into an abandoned AT-AT, right? Mm-hmm. For 2 seconds, I talked about this on our podcast with Coruscant Radio Underground. You see a TIE fighter being chased by a Clone Wars what's their ship called, Gerry?
The
Game Junkie.
LAAT or something. The
LAT.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes.
is that what it is?
Being
The troop carrier.
Yes, the troop carrier. Yes,
yeah, the one-
that Yoda was on.
Yeah, Yoda was
the
on.
Landing
one,
ships.
They saw a very brief. It's like maybe 1 second of a TIE flies by, and one of those are following it. What in the world could that mean? Could it be stormtroopers versus rogue clones on Kashyyyk? I mean, like, it's such a weird, because it's going to be the time right after Order 66.
Yeah.
Right.
I have no idea what they can do with that. It's so open field. Because there's so much. We know about the Inquisitors. We know about what happens at Rebels, but that's years later.
Right.
And
That's
like,
all way after that.
I mean, it's just wild.
Yeah, we don't know. I mean, what if? I mean, what in the clip was it shooting at it?
Yes, it was a TIE
Okay.
getting shot by one of those.
I didn't know if they were just following each other, going.
no,
Maybe it's-
they were.
Saw, maybe is Saw's partisans? Maybe have they taken control of all
Maybe.
Clone Wars era attack
Yeah.
or something?
That's true. That's true.
It could be
Since-
Rex.
Yeah. Hey,
What if it's
you never
Rex?
know. Rex could be with them.
No, Rex. No.
I didn't. It just. I can't imagine. It's a very open world, and maybe Fallen Order. We might even get some more Jedi stuff we didn't expect we get. You
Yeah,
know,
that's it.
maybe some new Force powers.
I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Yeah, and the gameplay looked good. The gameplay
it looks
looked really good.
It looks solid.
And you know, Gerry, you have any takes on it? Because you play PS4, don't you, Gerry?
Yes,
You play Xbox One.
No, I play PS4.
Okay.
I'm excited for it. But there's like so much stuff that is coming out this year alone. I need to find second and third jobs. I mean, there's so much coming out. I'm like, man, and again, like it's spend the rest of my life playing these things or
Yes.
let my child go to college. It's such a hard decision. But I'm sure she'll forgive me whenever she's, bussing tables or something. So, she'll understand. She'll understand.
Yeah. It's all gonna work out. But
I'm
no, I agree
excited,
with you,
man. I'm just excited.
There's very few things like right now. I mean, the next biggest thing to happen, I don't even know, is Resistance coming back in the fall? Like,
Yeah.
I don't remember if that was
It
okay.
should
So it
be.
is. So we're kind of at a lull right now. You know, we got some more wait time, but
Yep.
man, once all this content starts dropping, we're gonna be sick to our stomachs trying to report
We're in
all
a little
this.
fog
It's-
right now.
Yeah.
It's coming.
It's so funny, guys. The cascade of Star Wars deliciousness is coming, and like everyone's complaining on. Did you see everyone talking about how like, oh man, Marvel dropped all this stuff, and like, Star Wars would let us know. I'm like, just wait. I mean, just like another couple months.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
We are going to be.
You'll be overwhelmed.
Yes,
we are going to be like gorged on Star Wars the end of the year.
We're gonna be sick. Oh,
But
I
it's
agree.
going to be so great.
It's gonna be so nice. It's gonna be nonstop.
It's just going to be
I can't
so
believe we're
much
so
to take
close.
in.
We are so close. It's literally July 21st. We are, and I'm pretty sure Disney Plus and Mandalorian comes out November 13th.
Yes.
So it's like just 3 months away.
Well, and then just a couple days later, Fallen Order releases, or the same day. I can't remember exactly, but it's gosh. What are we gonna do, guys? There's not enough time.
And then, I mean, 2 days after that is released is when the new Pokemon game is coming out on the Switch.
Man.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. Oh man, for someone's gonna be streaming all of that, you're gonna be exhausted.
I'm gonna be
every night.
It's gonna be a busy
with a 2-year-old.
Yes.
It's gonna be a busy fall and winter. That's all I gotta say.
It
will
is.
be.
We are
will
not
be,
going to
for
run
sure.
out of things to talk about.
Oh, and something really random, I have to throw it in here, but recently Kevin Smith was being interviewed about the new Jay and Silent Bob reboot movie, which I'm stoked for. But they asked him, are you excited for the new Star Wars movie? And he's like, actually, I was invited on set. I don't know if anyone heard this or seen this yet. It hasn't actually blown up, which I'm shocked.
I
But he was
watched
invited-
it. Oh.
You watch? Okay, so he was invited on set. For anyone else that hasn't watched it, look up the video. And JJ's like, actually, you might not want to come on set. And he's like, why? We're filming the last scene of the movie today.
Well, and he
goes,
they were saying
sorry.
no, you're fine. He said that they were playing like a. He said there was a set that everyone was talking about, so you have to see it, but you also don't want
Yes.
to. And go, but anyway, go ahead. It was JJ basically like tell him what JJ said to him. Like
JJ
insane.
says, it's insane. JJ goes, you're not going to want to see it in person. And he's like, well, why? He goes, you're going to want to see this in the theaters. It's going to melt your mind.
The last
I'm like,
shot. Oh.
What? I'm like, what? I just got chills talking about it.
I know.
Just
Could
seeing
you
the
im-
set? What is
What
on the
does that
set?
mean? What does that mean?
Is there a dead reek on the set? Does he smack its butt and it jiggles? Like what is there like a
No.
reek and like a gonk droid and some porgs? Like what is going on?
I don't know, but I can tell you this
There's
much.
so many things that go through my head.
What could it be? I mean, like, is it going to be a ton of Jedi? Is it going to be like Luke high-fiving Qui-Gon and, letting Yoda do tricks in the back?
Dude.
Like, what could this be?
What if it's like a Force council or a Jedi Council of Force Ghosts, man?
Troy and I speculated that like 2 years ago when before The Last Jedi came out. We thought we'd see something like that, like in a cave, where
Yeah.
he talks to all the Force Jedi
we
Council.
did.
We did talk about that.
Yep.
And funny enough, it didn't come to fruition. It's still one of the best movies. But in regards to what JJ's gonna do, I mean, I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
We're not
mind-blowing.
prepared.
It is gonna be mind-blowing.
We're not prepared, guys. You're not prepared for what this is going to do to your brain.
No, and I guess we need to move on, gang. If
We
you
have
don't
to.
mind, I actually give me one moment. I'm gonna get our friend Anthony's audio pulled up for what he has to say about his favorite video games and his favorite things that deal with of the like. And I'm really excited to see where this can take us, and I really do feel it's going to take us in a very, very interesting direction. But we're gonna hear from our friend Rural Farm Boy right now. He's got a couple of things to say about his favorite games, and I actually haven't had the opportunity to listen to this yet, so it's gonna be the first time we hear this together. All right, here we go.
I'll do Scotty, J, and Gerry. It's Anthony, RFB. Gives me a laugh. For every message I send in, Jerry's in the background somewhere going, RFB. So we're talking Star Wars video games for this show, this Bombad show. Star Wars video games for me. I can remember, when I was a kid, back in the early 80s, was Atari 2600. That was a little bit of a rough time for me because up here in rural western Pennsylvania, Ohio River Valley, was steel factories, and that's when that time, all that went all to hell. And, well, my stepdad was a steel worker. So that made it pretty rough. But my mom went and done, as moms tend to do, force rest her soul. She went and hunted up and found us. She got us an Atari 2600. But we didn't ever have the Star Wars games that was put out for that, like the Walker Battle on Hoth. And I know there was a Return of the Jedi one later on. I didn't get to have them. I do remember there was in the arcades was that vector graphic game. Scotty, you familiar? Gerry, you got to be familiar with that. It's going to come out again later on this year. I remember putting many a quarter anytime I could find that game and go and play it. Loved that thing, and I don't know if I'm going to get to have it coming up, but we'll see. Other games. Super Nintendo. Super Star Wars. Gerry, you had to have played these, right? And Scotty, maybe? Because kids nowadays thinks they got a hard time playing games. Try to beat that game. Took me dang near 3 months just to beat for the first Super Star Wars. Maybe longer than 3 months. That was a hard game. And then come along Super Empire Strikes Back and Super Return of the Jedi. All just as hard. And took me same as long, if not longer, to go and beat them. Long time playing them. What come after that I was playing? There was a game running around called Doom that folks was going and playing. There was a Star Wars version of it. Dark Forces. Yeah, I had a lot of fun playing that. Lots. And then what come after would be a little piece that of things that pertain to what I was playing. Nintendo 64 and Rogue Squadron. Loved that game. And took me probably 6 months because I played every board and on the hardest set level at that time and got gold medals for each and every board and then unlocked the Assault Run to Death Star. And I don't remember whether I beat that yet or not, but now comes my favorite. Because 2004, PlayStation was already running around with games, but I was already married at the time and had all three of my girls and not really had money to go get PlayStation. And it weren't till maybe 2007 that I did go and find a used PlayStation at a big flea market that they have up here. And I found a used PlayStation, the bigger one, not the smaller one. And along with it was Battlefront, the original Battlefront. It was but both Battlefronts, the originals, was out. And I brought that system home and I plugged it all in and put it all up and I probably spent about 5 hours, clean into the wee hours playing that game. Still to this day. I got my Nintendo 64 and about 5 different Star Wars games, including Racer and Rogue Squadron, the Battle for Naboo. But to this here and now day, I got my PlayStation, my Nintendo 64, and that's the only 2 game systems I got. And that 2004 Battlefront is my favorite. So there's what I got. And this here is a long message. So let's see what yous both got to say, and lots of other friends. So I'm looking forward to your show, and my playlist is coming Tuesday. And until then, see yous, and all other Bombad listeners in that Twitterverse. May the Force be with you. May the Force be with us all. See you on the radio.
There you go. There it is. The best. I love that. I love the sign out.
Nobody can make you feel quite like Anthony can, man.
He's the Walter Cronkite of this podcast.
Good night and good luck, for real. Yes.
I've been listening on the past podcasts, and I'm following him on Twitter now, and I love him. So
that is a cool dude, and I can agree. He was describing the game. I could not get that out of my head. The vector graphics. The Assault on the Death Star game,
right?
Great game, and it was the first to have you're like shooting turrets and TIE fighters. It's just a difficult game, and it's like the first assault run game.
So it'll be coming out on the arcade thing for the Switch.
No. For the arcade up. Have you heard of those? Those ones, you've seen them probably at the store before. They're like mini arcade cabinets.
Yes.
They're making their own Star Wars one with 3 different games.
My goodness.
That's one of them. So that's going to be awesome. But yeah, no, Anthony, I can't agree more. Like, those older games, those LucasArts games that we were talking about are probably some of the best ones. EA's put out good ones, don't get me wrong, but those are like the heart, man.
Yes.
That was our childhood.
It's the OG.
The OG,
That's right.
And Jerry, what'd you think of that little? We're just gonna make it a daily episode thing. It's been every episode, so we're just gonna call that Rural Farm Boys Corner. Like, he just gets that time.
Rural Farm Boys Bombad Corner. Man, I don't know, Anthony, you're the man. I'm glad you got that message in. I know you were messaging me just a little bit ago, right before we recorded this, just to make sure you had time, and I'm glad you got it in, man, because seriously, you add so much to every episode. But like, I'm sorry, I did not play Super Star Wars in those. I missed those by just a little bit, but I have watched. Did you guys see that video of like Anthony and Andy from the Star Wars show playing it? I think, and they were like, there was an episode recently where they played it, and their commentary was hilarious about like.
Yes.
Is this Luke Skywalker's drive home like every day from like the store? It's like facing like scorpions that shoot fireballs and stuff like that. I'm pretty
sure if I'm not mistaken, there was a panel where you watched like Gina Gavankar and Sam Witwer play this game or one of the Star Wars games. It was like a live. It was like watching Twitch but live and with like huge celebrities playing this game.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's one of those panels I really wish we would have went and saw, Jared.
I think it was for at least when they played the game for the Star Wars show. I think it was at E3 that they did that episode for, because that was like right after, I believe, Celebration. But right before like the summer really kicked into gear, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, you are right. Yeah, it
was like in June.
They had something very similar to that at Celebration, which I'm glad. I hope they keep doing that.
That'd be cool.
That would be really cool.
I would definitely
to watch like Sam Witwer do it again. That's cool.
Have like a classic arcade and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But Anthony, thank you for always writing in, man. I love hearing your opinions and I just happy that you could be a part of this community and just and it's even funnier that my cousin Troy, who hasn't been on this show yet, even follows you and sees your tweets every morning. It's just cool. It's you do a great job, man. Thank you for writing in as always.
Thank you for being a light in the community, man. In this Twitter Star Wars community, you're a light.
It's awesome, and we even got some write-ins. Now we're kind of running along on this show, so I cut it down to about three write-ins, and they're all from pretty good friends of ours. And hey, next episode we'll make sure to have some more feature too. So our first write-in, Jerry, who is it from? The first one that actually reached out to us on the pod.
It is our good friend Rick Villanueva, or also known, AKA, I'll say that version of it, at Cad Bane's Bounty. And man, he writes. I love that Rick's been like writing to us on every show. He is and Anthony and like a few other people are like staples of the show. I love it.
Yes, I agree.
But Rick said, "This is where my Star Wars gaming started. It holds a special place for me." He has a picture of. Let me see. I can't. It's I believe it's the Atari Empire Strikes Back. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's a 2600 Empire Strikes Back. I'm pretty sure.
Right. And he said, let's see, I fell in hard for Shadows of the Empire. Bridging the gap between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi was loads of fun. Plus the tie-in materials fleshed out the story, even if it was a bit sloppy.
Yeah. People forget that Shadows of the Empire was not just a game. They had a book. They had a comic. They had, pretty sure they had another thing tie into it.
They had an album of John Williams music. I don't know if it's exactly John Williams, but it was like John Williams-esque music that went with this everything. Yes, you can still get it on iTunes. I think it's
crazy.
Insane.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. if you ever watched, like, I think Star Wars Explained is a whole nother series of gaming on this. He's got a great coverage, and he explains, like, there's a part in the game that tied in with the comics, how IG-88 got to a certain spot.
Yeah.
And, like, you fight IG-88, and you do the Battle of Hoth. Like, it's a very odd game. It was, like, and it kind of went under the radar now, but looking back at it, if they had done a release like this, dude... That would be a great approach, honest to God.
They even had action
pretty
figures
sick.
too. Like I
did
was
have
a
action
kid,
figures.
I was a kid during this. Like I had like the it was like some dude, I don't even know who it was, some random dude on a swoop bike. This was they introduced swoop bikes. I
they
believe,
did, and that came back in
that.
Solo.
Yeah, and well, it came back in Attack of the Clones too. That's what Anakin's riding.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
So thank
So
you, Rick.
cool.
You just kind of got me very excited and very interested in looking up that stuff again. But we got another write-in from a good friend of the show, Patrick, and a good friend of mine. And you might see another event from Patrick on at some point. It'll be a Bombadcast-inspired event. I don't know. I can't guarantee anything, but maybe something in the works. But we got Battlefront 2 2005 has so many different and expansive campaigns to follow. Plus, it's a great couch co-op game. While the 2017 is canon and has so much better modern graphics, it feels like there's something consistently lacking about the modern iteration. Okay, I can feel that. I understand that. And like my majority of how I played Battlefront 2 when I played it back in 2005 was on the couch with my best friend Olivia.
Yep.
And we would play it constantly, and like, of course, one of the best things was whenever you can do, I forget the exact title of it, was it called like Heroes or something?
Yes.
Where you could play on Mos Eisley as all like the heroes and villains of the whole entire saga.
And it would play that ridiculous
sick.
music the whole time and stuff.
Yes,
like,
it would play Jedi Rocks.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Well, it wasn't even just Jedi. It was just so many different, like, they played, it was like a playlist, but you would cycle back through all of them, depending on how long it went. It was so much fun. So much fun.
Yeah. It's just, I completely agree with that, Patrick. It's in couch co-op is one of these things that kind of died, and
it is.
It's slowly coming back thanks to the Switch.
Is slowly coming back,
and thanks to all these split screen games that are going to be released.
I remember playing the Battlefronts with my friend, and you know him, Joe Bear, all the time. Battlefront, 1 and 2.
That's awesome.
On the couch.
What about you, Jerry?
Man, Battlefront 2 2005 is seriously, it will be one of my favorites forever. It's, I don't know. Again, and me and Troy have both said we still play the 2017 version, and we love it to pieces. And I understand what you're saying, Patrick. You know, the thing that's lacking about this modern iteration, I think, is that we don't have the memories we had back in the day.
Yeah.
Because the game now, if you're playing it, is loaded. But you know, back in the day, again, when you can sit on the couch, play with your best friend, there's nothing that's gonna beat that.
It was simple too. You hit start.
Yeah.
It threw you in the map with a gun.
Yep.
And you just went.
And
you didn't have to select what droid you were
Yeah,
gonna get,
yeah.
And, you know, have this whole menu of things before you actually got into the game.
Yeah.
So.
And the funny thing, I just dawned on me with this too. It's like you've got. Honestly, and this is the truth, they could have just changed the names of the games and we wouldn't have to make this stupid comparison. I'm being serious. It could have been Star Wars War, whatever. That could have been a different game for the 2017 Warfront.
Star Wars Warfront.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
Pew,
like
pew,
they
bang,
could have
bang.
remarketed it. Yeah, pew pew bang bang. Yeah, and like, you know, funny enough, this is a little bit of a transition, but our next write-in's from Pete Fletcher, who has an incredible podcast. If you've not heard it, Around the Galaxy,
give him a follow, guys.
We want to be on it. We are like, love that show.
We want to have him on ours too, Pete. Hey, if you're listening, man, you're always welcome at the Bombad Cast.
Yes, and we had John Hoey on for an episode. He had why I keep wanting to say Chuck Wendig. It's not Chuck Wendig. It's what's the other author, Jerry? Jason Fry.
Jason Fry.
He had Jason Fry on there.
Oh, that was a great one.
He gives a bunch of good insight. So if you haven't yet, stop whenever this is over and be sure to subscribe. He's got a good show, and he's even got Neil, who is a great friend of the podcast. Neil, thank you for what you do.
Neil, the captain of positivity.
We're gonna have you on soon too. He is the captain. But anyway, Pete Fletcher wrote in Battlefront 2 2017, 2 words: Shriv and Shriv. And I didn't know this. In his profile picture, he might have done this just for the show. He had a shirt that says Shriv, a Star Wars story.
That's awesome.
On his shirt.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I've got something for
What do you
you.
say?
Let's get this started, everybody, okay? Hashtag Shriv live action. Bring Shriv.
Shriv.
Did you hear the rumor that Shriv, there is a rumor that Shriv is a background character in Rise of Skywalker.
Yep.
Oh,
That is true.
if I see
He's a great character.
Duros wearing Rebel gear, it is headcanon. Headcanon. That is Shriv. I don't care what you say.
Oh.
If he utters dialogue, I will probably die there in the theater.
That's something sassy. That would be great.
Oh,
no,
that'd be great.
Pete, I agree. That was one of my favorite characters come out of that actual game, and like it was such a side character. But seeing him and Lando have those remarks back and forth to them was really cool.
Their interaction made that what could be an like a forgettable level so great.
Yeah.
Their back and forth is like
it could.
At least if I'm gonna die here, it makes me feel better to know like something like you're gonna die too or something like was one of the best lines.
Great.
I just butchered it, but it was one of the best lines of the game.
It's great, and thank you for writing in, Pete.
Yes,
and,
thank you.
Guys, gals, thank y'all for listening to this whole episode. It has been an absolute wild ride. We really went down the rabbit hole here on Marvel. We went down the rabbit hole on the games and why they're our favorites. And I'm just so happy we had a guest this time around, Gerry. This is fun, man. And what'd you think of having Troy on the show? You want him to come back, Gerry?
Nah. No, I'm just kidding. Dude, Troy, it's seriously so great to finally meet you, man. I'm glad you were able to come on and talk about this. Honestly, I feel like this is your area of expertise, too. And so it was so awesome being able to have you on, man.
Yeah, I'm so glad to be on the show. I've been listening, and Scotty's been telling me, man, we got to get you on the show. We got to get you on. So then this was a perfect opportunity, and definitely the most fitting topic because,
there's so much coming out.
Oh, man.
It's awesome.
So much going on in the next few months to the upcoming years, and it's only going to get better, guys.
Yeah. Hey, and this is not the last you're going to hear of Troy, guys, for sure. So we might have to bring him back to talk about some of this awesome stuff happening at the end of the year.
Totally, I'm down. Where can people find you, Troy?
People can find me at Twitter at ElderPug27. You can find me on Twitch streaming sometimes at ElderPug27 and Instagram as well, ElderPug27.
Now, primarily, what do you do on those platforms? Like, really, I know your Twitter's a lot of mix between.
Yeah, my Twitter is a lot of variety stuff. Twitch, mainly Pokemon content. You will see me streaming Star Wars stuff from time to time. I stream The Old Republic, some Star Wars Galaxies emulator. Will be streaming Jedi Fallen Order when it comes out, and the Lego Star Wars games. So,
awesome.
Look forward to that. Then same on Instagram. You just see a bunch of pictures of Pokemon shinies and my pug and my son. So
yeah, you might see some updates from this beach trip too. But we're gonna definitely have you on again, Troy.
Perfect. I cannot wait.
You're not only my cousin, but you're a great commentator. So
for real, dude. For real, you're amazing.
Follow his Twitch. I'm a huge supporter of that Twitch, and every time he streams, I join. So
Scotty's in there. Every time.
Yep. If you wanna be in there with me, be in there with me. I'll retweet whenever he goes live. And he does a lot of shiny hunts and stuff. We went and did a Pokemon Go event today, and when he gets back, I'm sure he'll get back on it. And we'll have some more stuff to watch. Back on the grind. But Gerry, where can the people of this wonderful podcast, I guess this wonderful community, could find you? Where can they find you at, Gerry?
You can find me at Junkie Cannon on Twitter. I am Gerry the Cannon Junkie. I do YouTube videos, nothing of the last couple of months, but you know what, you still want to go check out my video fair, then go on to YouTube and type in Cannon Junkie and look there. I have a nice Star Wars ASMR that I did as a joke. It is not serious, but I did it right before we went to Celebration. It was called Celebration Sleep Help. So go check that out, and if you'd like to see more of that kind of stuff from me. But of course, you can always find me right here, staying Bombad every week. So, Scotty, what about you, man? Where can the good people find you? Where can our Bombardiers find you?
My wonderful Bombad fam, you can find me at the Scotty Jarreau, maybe, or is it the Scott Jarreau?
It's at the Scott Jarreau.
the Scott Jarreau on Twitter at and you can find me there. But yeah, I mostly post all my content on there. Follow this podcast. If you ever want to write in, if you have anything to tell us, if you want to review this show, let us know. We are so glad to be here, and we are just enjoying every moment. This is episode 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And it's going to be 4 of 1,000, hopefully in the
Share
next
this
couple
with
of
your
years.
friends. Share this with your friends, guys.
Yes.
Tell everyone who likes Star Wars about us, and we will continue to grow and make content for you guys.
And it's so funny, my family is all excited to hear this episode, but I feel like they're going to get through it and be like, okay, wow, that was a lot.
Like, you guys are long-winded.
But yeah, and for everyone that listens continually, thank you. And keep up the good work. We really appreciate it. Let us know what you think by commenting on the YouTube page or just DMing us, whatever. But yeah, man, Gerry, what should the good folks at home do now?
Well, for one thing, you should, again, subscribe to this podcast. Go and follow us on Twitter and where other installations. But most of all, everyone, stay Bombad.
All Bombad.